checked out the calendar today and had come to the ballpark, you wouldn't know it's the 19th of June. It's a chilly, windy day at Wrigley Field. Whitecaps out on Lake Michigan. But that doesn't bother my partner, Steve Stone, nor will it bother, you figure, Mark Pryor or Mark Mulder. For after all, this is Wrigley Field, and it's a wonderful day to pitch in Game 2.
I think you could order up some weather here at home. You'd want a day like today. Going to be tough to hit the ball out of the ballpark. The wind out of the northwest, meaning it's roaring in right at the Oakland dugout, making it very tough for the right-handers to take anything deep unless they hit line drives. You usually don't hit too many line drives against Mark Pryor or against Mark Mulder.
Pryor making his 4th start of the year. He beat Roger Clemens and the Astros last time out. Here's the Oakland lineup he will face. A much more speed-oriented lineup than the one we saw yesterday. Eric Burns leads off in left. Yesterday's villain, Mark Kotsay, hits second and center. Then it's Jermaine Dye, Scott Hatteberg, Bobby Crosby. Former Cub Damian Miller, the catcher. Marco Scutaro, the second baseman. Esteban Herman hits 8th at third base, and Mark Mulder will pitch and bat 9th.
There's a look at Mark Pryor on for the 4th start. There will be a pitch count. I don't think he'll go much over 100. But to make it happen, he's got to retire Burns and Kotsay at the top of this lineup.
And the first pitch caught on and fouled away by Eric Burns, an 8th-round pick of Oakland's back in 1998.
He's a real aggressive player, and last year, all of last year, although he had a decent year, it wasn't a great year. And Burns hit just 12 home runs. He's got 8 already.
And Pryor jumps ahead of him with a second quick strike. Burns, 3rd on the all-time Oakland leadoff home run list.
I wonder who first could be.
Yeah. Ricky Henderson hit 43 of them. Bert Campanera's 10. Burns has 4. He's got a ways to go.
He's a pretty good player, and what the Athletics are trying to decipher at this point is, can he play every day, or is he going to be a guy that's going to need to be taken down for a couple days at a time?
And he's down on strikes to open up the ball game. In fact, Burns and Keelty have split duties in left field so far for the A's this season. 1 up, 1 down.
Good high heat by Mark Pryor, who uses the upper reaches of the strike zone and just out of the zone particularly well. He got ahead of Burns. You throw the fastball just up over the Athletic logo and you get him.
Here's Kotsay, a home run, 2 RBIs for Oakland. Tip your cap to Mark Redmond, Steve. The crafty left-hander was that in Game 1 of the series yesterday.
He pitched a good ball game, and Kotsay was the offense.
1 ball, 1 strike. We noticed Pryor's breaking ball against Houston really started to sharpen up.
And it looks pretty good early in this one. You don't strike out Kotsay too often, by the way. This is one of the guys that likes to run the count deep. And again, Oakland has been a patient team. Maybe not as patient as Billy Beane would like on a daily basis, but they'll probably take more pitches than most ball clubs in baseball.
2-1 count. That a late swing by Kotsay. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Oakland enters with a 2.5 game lead over Texas and Anaheim. And the Texas Rangers, one of the surprise teams in baseball. Of course, the Cubs tied for 2nd with the Cincinnatis, chasing the Cardinals.
Cincinnati let one get away in the 9th and then the 10th yesterday, and Pryor struck out the first 2 men he's faced swinging. 2 up, 2 down.
Well, that time he set him up with pitches inside. I think Kotsay was looking for the breaking ball. He got the express. And if you're around the plate all the time and the hitter has to protect, you'll swing at pitches out of the zone. That's a perfect pitcher's pitch. And as you can see by Kotsay, who is a good hitter, not a real good hitter's pitch.
Here's another good hitter for Oakland, but one that is more prone to strike out than many of his teammates, Jermaine Dye. Dye with 13 homers, 42 knocked in. He's had horrible leg problems the last couple of seasons, but he's rebounded nicely in 2004, but does have 64 punch-outs. Not this time, as he flies to right field pretty deep. Back goes Sosa and has just enough room. Dye hit that ball a ton, and the wind kept it in the park. Pryor a 1-2-3 first.
Some cars are just born to follow, one-dimensional, charisma-free. But this car has a different vibe. It takes any road you throw at it and everything you throw in it. Runs fast between lights and long between fill-ups. Give it a destination and go where the vibe takes you. Now get $2,000 cash back on a new Vibe. And non-GM owners and lessees can get into a new Pontiac Vibe for under $14,200. See your Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana Pontiac dealer.
Did the greatest king who ever lived cross the battlefields, search the highlands, and discover the life behind the legend as we journey through the centuries and into the darkest regions of England. Quest for King Arthur, Sunday night at 8, as only the History Channel can bring you.
It's time to go.
The best show in Chicago just got better. Blue Man Group, Rewired. Featuring brand new material, such as this, and this. And also featuring a little bit of this. If you've seen Blue Man Group before, come check out the new material. If you've never seen Blue Man Group, then now's the time. Ready, go.
Sports show period. Weeknights on Fox Sports Net.
No scores. We head to the bottom of the first inning. Let's welcome back Mark Mulder to the leadoff spot for the Cubs. Mark activated today. He will lead off the Cubs lineup with Barrett, Alu, and Sosa to follow. Then Aramis Ramirez, Derrek Lee, Corey Patterson, Ramon Martinez at shortstop, and Mark Pryor, of course, will hit ninth against left-hander Mark Mulder.
Mulder, a #1 draft choice of these Oakland Athletics back in 1998, drafted second in the country.
And he's a Chicago native from South Holland, Illinois. Thornwood High School.
He's going to try to dial up that outside corner to the right-handers, and as you can see by those numbers, he's done it well.
Mulder out since April 10th with that right Achilles problem. And he will get the start today. Todd Walker probably will go tomorrow for the Cubs, and then Dusty Baker will play it on a day-by-day basis as to who will be his second baseman and his leadoff man, one would think. And a ball inside to Grunzelanek.
Cubs have only seen Mulder in spring training, and they'll realize that when he wants to wipe you out, he'll go to the split finger a lot.
1-2 pitch. Missed inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes for North Side baseball fans in this town. What does Mulder throw?
See the fastball in the low 90s? He's a master at hiding the ball, meaning that it's hard to pick it up for the hitter. And as you can see, real hard to pick it up for Grunzelanek, who's going to experience the same thing as Sammy did yesterday. Not having the real good timing for a couple of days.
So 1 away for Michael Barrett. Barrett, one of the Cubs who has seen Mulder before. He's 1 for 2 against him as we welcome our affiliate Comcast and their Chicagoland viewers too. The middle game of our 3-game set here at Wrigley Field. 60 degrees, by the way, at first pitch. And a hot shot toward short. Good pickup by Crosby. He robbed Barrett of a hit. And there's out number 1 for Barrett today. 2 in the first inning for the Cubs.
Good idea by Barrett. He got a pretty good fastball on the first pitch, and he hit it right on the butt. Bobby Crosby right there to make the play. He is a good shortstop. The only problem occasionally, he slings it from the side, and that means that that ball, unlike most shortstops who come right over the top, the ball is going to always have some movement on it, and it might occasionally get him in trouble.
Moises Alou, a well-deserved day off yesterday for the Cubs, but in there today with 16 home runs and 43 driven in. Cubs are aggressive against him early in the count. Strike 1, back to the screen.
Well, he has real good control, and in that 1998 draft, the Athletics picked him 2, and the Cubs, with the next pick, picked Corey Patterson. Both teams very happy with their choices.
Upstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Don't look for too many curveballs from Mulder. He's gotten burned a few times on hanging breaking balls. That's pretty much a show-me pitch to Moises.
Mulder has a 6-game win streak. By the way, another chance at short for Crosby. He'll make quick work of the Cubs in the bottom half of our first inning. No surprises today. Pryor and Mulder scoreless first inning.
Baseball is brought to you in part by Midas. For mechanics known for their work and their word, trust the Midas touch. Corona Extra, miles away from the ordinary. And by Ford. Visit your local Ford store.
There's only one. Only one minivan has the most advanced safety system. Only one minivan has a flip-fold third-row bench. Only one minivan has so much to offer with Ford's available safety canopy system covering all 3 rows of seats. Ford's adjustable brake and gas pedals, and Ford's family entertainment system. Freestar is the one. Get into an all-new Freestar with $1,000 cash back when financed through Ford Credit. Plus, 4,000 cash back or 0% financing for 60 months. Ford, the one and only.
Cubs World Series tickets.
$20.
I give up my life savings. $1,000.
My cat.
My condo. My car. My mom. My 401k.
My brother. My sister.
I have 2 kidneys.
I would give you up.
Seeing the Cubs in the World Series?
Oh man, it's priceless.
There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Accepted wherever there's hope.
At Geico.com, you can get free rate quotes and handle all your car insurance needs online. But we like to make it interesting. Here's an idea we received via email. Yo, I think your website would be the bomb if you had the gecko do the robot.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Try Arby's new Market Fresh wraps. Tender, fresh sliced meats, authentic cheeses, and tasty sauces. Made fresh when ordered on a low-carb wrap. Counting carbs never tasted so good.
There are today's Walgreens Celebrity Bat Kids, David Rivera and Carly Zucker. Young Cub fans can get Celebrity Bat Kid contest details at walgreens.com/batkids. Lots of youngsters at the ballpark this weekend. It's Father's Day weekend, by the way, and we'll have a Father's Day matinee tomorrow here at Wrigley Field in Chicago. No score in today's game 2 as we move to the 2nd inning, and Scott Hanneberg is the Oakland leadoff man.
I think you're going to like this guy's swing. Last year he hit in just the 250s, but this year he seems to be getting a whole lot better.
That paints the corner, and Hanneberg down. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He didn't think much of that call.
When you're on the plate all the time, and Mark Pryor is, as well as Mark Mulder, umpire's going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Did he go? He went. Mark Wagner punches out Hanneberg. That's the 3rd strikeout for Mark today, and he's retired all 4 he's faced.
That takes a pretty big hitter off base. Hanneberg can't check his swing. He thought he did, but as you can see from that angle, he went around a little too far. And the appeal, he's out.
Here's Bobby Crosby, the shortstop.
He will bunt on occasion.
He bunted successfully yesterday and then committed a real base running gaffe in the 9th inning of game 1 of the series. He ran into Aramis Ramirez on a ground ball in the 9th inning. The interference call retired him and gave the Cubs hope in the 9th inning. Didn't work out that way, but a rare interference call.
Also, what was rare is you saw Ramirez on the plate drifting to his left, and he was going back. You have to allow the fielder to field the ball. You can't impede his path to the ball.
Over the screen from Crosby this time. It's 0-2. By the way, Steve, in today's game, we're participating in the home run challenge. Every home run hit raises $35,000 for prostate cancer research. If you would like to make a pledge with us at home, please call 1-800-798-CURE. 0-2 to Crosby. Breaking ball just missed. Pryor thought it was good enough.
Athletics think they might have the Rookie of the Year. He certainly will be a candidate. And if Bobby Crosby stays healthy, he's probably going to be pretty good. But twice he's run into teammates chasing pop-ups. Looking for Mark to be efficient, meaning he's not going to give up a whole lot of hits. He's not going to get behind too many times.
But he's missed with 3 straight to Crosby here. It's a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. The payoff. Fly ball center field. Back goes Corey Patterson. Plenty of room. For out number 2.
Let's take a look at the Cubs defense and how they'll line up. The Corona defense looks like this. Lou Patterson and Sosa left to right with Ramirez Martinez. Bruselanek back in the lineup and Lee at first. Michael Barrett behind the plate. And Mark Pryor, who outdueled Roger Clemens last time, has got to outduel a guy with same kind of winning percentage lifetime, Mark Mulder.
Now he has to get a man who caught him a lot last year, Damian Miller. Now playing for the Oakland Ball Club and having a terrific run of it for them in the first half of this season.
Well, they're not surprised by his defense. I talked to former catcher Ray Fossey, who does the radio for this Oakland team, and he said defensively he's sound, and we knew that.
Lined out of play. We talked to Damian before the game yesterday, and he was thrilled to be back at Wrigley Field. And very complimentary was Miller toward his entire Chicago Cub experience, and heck, winning doesn't hurt. And he's called out a very generous corner that time. That's 4 strikeouts for Mark Pryor, who has 2 perfect innings under his belt here at Wrigley Field in Chicago.
Introducing Summer Takeoff. Stay at any AmeriSuites or Wellesley Ensign Suites and receive $100 off any airline ticket anytime. So check in and take off.
He's spreading the cheer.
Next, this is not the DMV, all right?
He's sharing the joy.
I'm on my lunch break, okay?
And breaking into stores everywhere on DDD.
Exactly.
With extras that will knock you out.
Ooh, you don't hit in the... What's wrong with you? It's just... Oh, I told you I didn't want to do this. Oh, good. Ooh.
Bad Santa.
Love large women. Can't do squat about that, Jack.
Own it this Tuesday on DVD. Also available for the first time, Badder Santa.
The average driver spends a mere 1% of the time in reverse. Yet considering what's at stake, that's 1% we didn't want to ignore. The backup camera, available in the Lexus RX 330. At your Chicago area Lexus dealer.
Welcome to the House of Beer. We have 170 kinds of beer from all over the world. The beers are color-coded and separated by country, style, and color. Call me when you're ready.
I'm ready. All of Sam Adams.
Yeah.
You can go around the world and not find a better beer than Samuel Adams. Always a good decision.
Sammy Sosa is back in the lineup for the Cubs. His second day since coming off the disabled list. And as Steve mentioned earlier, you got to give Sammy a couple of days to get back in the rhythm of playing for this Cub team. He missed 30 games. And yesterday in the series opener, 0 for 4. Ball outside to him, 1-0 your count.
I think with Mulder, because you can't guess with him because he has variations of 3 or 4 different pitches. Early in the game, look away, because that's where he's going to try to establish the pitch.
That's where he missed with ball 2, 2-0 your count. Bases on balls on a day like today could be killers. Teams are going to try to manufacture runs any way they can get them. The Cubs yesterday had some execution problems. 2 men were picked off.
Sammy usually gets a 3-0 green light. We'll have to see if his timing is good enough for Dusty to continue the green light.
He did, and a line drive rocket, right center field. Look at that ball get pushed away from the center fielder. Conte couldn't get it. Sosa hustling towards second with a sliding 2-base hit. They green light him on 3-0, and he almost took it out of the yard to right center field.
Mulder just laid one in, didn't think Sammy would be swinging. He tried to use the outer third, and Sammy hit a bullet to center field. Sosa hits this ball real hard. Doesn't hop because he knows he didn't hit it high enough. But Kotsay makes a good play, getting it back in, not before Sosa slides into second. So happy return, Sammy.
11th 2-base hit. Now let's see if Ramirez can drive him home. Ramos hitting in the 5th spot for the Cubs. Has driven in 49 men this year. Ground ball up the middle. Sammy can't Advanced to third at the first chance as Crosby kicks that ball. It's into center field. That was an odd base running play.
Yeah, but a good base running play by Sosa because he can't go to third. Crosby's very close to him, and he does commit an error. So Sammy realized at that point he wasn't going to score. He didn't want to get taken off scoring position by being tagged or in a rundown, so he stays right there. And Crosby with one hand bends down. He's made 8 errors this year. And like all young shortstops, occasionally you get fooled. And he's never played in this ballpark, and this park can fool you.
So the Cubs a great scoring chance with Pryor on the mound. Derrek Lee, the hitter, 1 for 2 yesterday. What made that play so strange, ball was hit behind Sammy, and he still was breaking toward the second base bag. It worked out.
Well, it was hit pretty close to him, and he realized that with the shortstop behind him, if he catches it, I'm going to probably throw him out at third if Sammy goes.
Lee pulls it foul for an even count. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Derrek Lee is the man who's had success against Mulder. Granted, only 3 at-bats, but they turned into 3 hits. And with the infield back, you would have to figure that Derrek would find some way to drive home run number 43.
Base hit right field, and the Cubs lead. Ramirez stops at second. Lee does have that 43rd RBI, and the Cubs are in front.
Derrek Lee is just on fire. This is a pretty good pitch. It might be a little higher than Mulder wanted it, but it was on the outside corner. That's just a good piece of hitting by Lee against a pitcher who's thrown .667 baseball over his career. Mulder coming into today 72 and 36. Just an amazing run for a young left-hander.
Here's the man picked right after him in the draft now, Corey Patterson. He punts the ball to the right side. That'll move everybody up, and a close play at first just in time. Nice at bat by Patterson.
Corey keeps looking better and better, making adjustments. That's one of the few times we've seen a sacrifice where he actually had to drag it up the right side. So Corey Patterson moves over the runners. A job well done for the young man who is maturing before our very eyes this year. All of the things that he didn't do last year and early this year, he's starting to do at just the right time for the Cubs.
So they're at second and third for Martinez. Ramon drove in the only Cub run yesterday. He another one of Dusty Baker's weapons that's been very hot these last 10 days.
And another factor here that's somewhat surprising for Ken Mock, at least for the moment. They're not bringing everybody in. With Mark Pryor throwing the way he's throwing, you get 2 runs down, you might have a problem, one that you might not be able to come back from. And they're going to concede the run in the middle infield.
Out of play to the right side for a strike to Ramon Martinez.
Even more surprising in that you've got Pryor due up next. Hard ground ball with the infield in for Martinez. No way in the world that Ramirez can score. And I would look for this to be a low-scoring game, but it started out pretty well for the Cubs to this point.
No balls and a strike. Fly drive into left field. That ball is going to be caught. And guess what? Lee is going to be...
No, he's safe. He trapped it,
They say he trapped the ball. Now we've got Derrek Lee caught in the base paths.
But they got to tag him. He wasn't going to tag him for a minute.
So there's the out. How about that play?
Well, Mark Wegner hustled out there and said that Burns didn't catch it. From here, it looked to me like Burns did catch it, but credit Wegner, he was right on the play.
So credit Martinez with a hit, I would assume.
Well, you would have to, but he was tagged out after he crossed second. So he's caught in a rundown. It wouldn't be a force play. The ball got out of the glove. So it is a base hit. Unfortunately, because the ball was obscured from the view of the Cub base runners, they had a problem.
The rule is you have to go into the glove and get it. He clearly did not do that.
Take it out with control. It's not like football where the ground can't cause a fumble. The ground can cause a fumble here. And unfortunately, Derrek Lee has to go back, and he's tagged out.
How can you give him a hit on that play, then?
Well, a diving catch. I mean, You can understand that. Plus, if Ramon wins the batting title, it could be that hit that puts him over the top.
So they're at first and third now, 2 outs. And that's over the corner for a strike to Pryor.
Very unusual play. And again, just when you think you've seen just about everything, you see something you haven't seen much before, if ever.
7-1-6 is how Derrek Lee's retired at second base. It is credited a single to Martinez, and that's for a ball hit to the outfield for a man not to be able to score from third. You don't see that too often in baseball, but considering the circumstances, you can understand why. 0-2 to Mark, and that's off the plate. 1-2 your count. That's a huge run 90 feet away here in this second inning.
Huge run because of the presence of both of these very talented young pitchers. Well, the Cub runners didn't find Redmond to their liking because picked off 2 of them. Mulder's move isn't great, but it's better than Zito's. So it's, of the 3 left-handers, he ranks right in the middle with his move to first base.
Oakland gets a tremendous break in this second inning. They're still down a run. A 2-2 count to Mark. Is off the plate. 3-2. Now Martinez a chance to run with 2 outs. Goes 3-2 pitch, line drive toward right field. Dye on the run, and that ball is out of play. We'll do it again. Want to welcome those of you watching on Fox Sports International today to Wrigley Field in Chicago. This game being seen across the country, around the world,
and the angry seas of Lake Michigan.
That's it. And a special welcome to our fine servicemen and women serving us in the Middle East, watching us here in Chicago. 3-2 pitch, runner goes. The bags are full for Mark Rutzelanek. Mulder walks the pitcher, but Pryor a good hitting pitcher. And with 2 outs, the Cubs a chance to put a big crooked number on that second inning scoreboard.
This will be one of the key at-bats of the day. If Mulder gets out of this inning after giving up a double, seeing an error, and 2 more base hits along with a walk, you can wiggle off the hook and give up just 1, you're in pretty good shape. The Cubs would love a base hit, put a little more distance between themselves and these pesky Athletics.
That almost hit him. And the last thing Mark wants to do after coming off the DL is take one for the team.
It's tough to take him at 93 or 94. You get Tim Wakefield on the mound, then you take it for the team. In fact, you run after the ball most of the time.
Right. 1-0 count. Slow roller hit toward Crosby again at short. He'll flip to second, and indeed, Mulder wiggles off the hook. He gives up 3 hits, an error, a walk, but only 1 man scores. We're through 2 with the lead.
Ron Santo. All Chicagoans admire him for his brilliant career at third base and as today's broadcast voice of the Cubs. No wonder he always draws a crowd.
Can I have your autograph?
What other reason could there be?
They like my Chevy.
Right now, current GM owners and lessees can get $5,000 loyalty cash on a 2004 Chevy Tahoe.
Mr. Santo, can I drive your Chevy?
See your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers.
Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
Putting people first means building an SUV that allows you to go pretty much anywhere and see pretty much everything, like the highly adaptable Saturn Vue with more standard features than the competition. Now for a limited time at Team Saturn, you can lease a new, fully equipped 04 Saturn Vue for just $209 a month with 0 due at signing. Get in and get away in a new Saturn Vue. Lease one for just $209 a month from Saturn of Elmhurst, 505 West Grand Avenue in Elmhurst. Saturn, people first.
When it comes to price and selection, Joe Rizza Ford is the only place to go.
Right now at Joe Rizza Ford, you can own a sleek new 2004 Ford Mustang. Rizza priced at an unbelievably low $14.60.
Joe Rizza Ford makes you #1.
Joe Rizza Ford, 159th Street in Orland Park and 22nd and Harlem in North Riverside.
Sports show period. Weeknights on Fox Sports Net.
Check out the auction area on Cubs.com where you're able to bid on various items such as a chance to throw out a first pitch or own a W flag that's flown over the historic Wrigley Field scoreboard. Proceeds from the auction go to Wrigley Field scoreboard and Cubs Care, fund of the Robert McCormick Tribune Foundation. I just read it as it's written, Steve. Cubs.com where baseball is always on.
And do exceptional promos, might I add. And the first guy leading off against Pryor is a player to be named later. Yesterday to both of us, he was Scutaro. And today, the Venezuelan pronunciation of Scutaro.
You say Scutaro, I say Scutaro.
Could be Scutaro Rizzuto.
That's
if he hits real well.
All of a sudden, the outside corner getting called more frequently for Mark Pryor.
It will, because he's going to spend most of the day there, except with 2 strikes when he goes up face high.
1 ball, 1 strike now. Scutaro, formerly from the Mets organization, a .292 hitter for them, taking the place of Ellis, who's out with a bad shoulder.
He hit well for him because he was Scutaro then.
Slow roller. Pryor with a bare hand. And got him by a quarter step. He can Scutaro down that first base line. 1 out.
He did, but Mark Pryor making a very good toss. He made sure first of the grip after the bare hand pick, and then he got it over there real quickly. Helps to have a strong arm on that particular play. He got it over there to the man that the Cubs have found to be a very able, very big, a very willing target at first base, Derrek Lee.
Here's Esteban Herman. Or Steve German, if you like. 1 strike to him.
He's got good speed. He doesn't have much power.
That's upstairs. He's taking the place of Eric Chavez. He's out with a broken bone in his hand.
They expect Chavez to come back after the All-Star break, and they could really use him. He's a terrific defender as well as a left-hander that sets off their lineup. Herman hit .306 in Sacramento last year. And he can steal a base, but I think getting on is going to be a problem.
Up the middle, Grunzalonic to his right, tested, stumbles, can't make a play, and Herman is aboard with Oakland's first base hit.
Good effort by Grunzalonic, and if his Achilles doesn't hurt now, he's been put to the test, because that quick step to his right up the middle is going to put a lot of strain on the thing that's kept him out for most of this season. He does catch it, but with the speed of Herman, you're not going to get him at first.
So Mulder a chance to hit. Something he doesn't do much.
Well, he's probably going to be bunting. He's a terrific athlete, so I don't doubt that he can hit. It's just that the DH precludes that.
Downstairs, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes.
Ken Maka doesn't run very much, but when he does run, he's pretty successful at it. 24 steals. They've only been thrown out 8 times.
One ball, 1 strike.
Herman has yet to try a stolen base. Last year he had 32 of them in AAA. And a long look at third yields probably a situation where you might be tempted to pull the bat back and take a swing.
Big breaking ball dances in nicely for a 1-2 count.
Ron Washington, the third base coach, former teammate of mine, Chris Spire, is the bench coach.
This Oakland team, one that of late on the road has not been scoring many runs. They've scored 21 times their last 7 games away from Network Associates Coliseum in Oakland, yet with that overwhelming starting pitching, They're 11 games over 500.
Well, they've hit 85 home runs. Their opponents have only hit 58. That's a testament to their pitching.
Out swinging goes Mulder. He can't advance Herman into scoring position, and now Eric Burns, the 2-out hitter in the Oakland third. Pryor struck out 5 already today.
Eric Burns looked to me like a guy that will go full out every play, and usually those guys aren't too patient at bat. Those are the guys that usually swing at the first pitch, especially if it's close.
Herman, a pretty good lead over from first. And a ball high to Eric Burns. 1 ball, no strikes, your count.
Kind of surprised they haven't run with Herman at this point. Now, Burns does have some pop in his bat, and they think he's going to get a little more powerful as things move along. I think you'd rather lead off with Burns and Kotze in an inning.
1-1 count now.
Well, if you're Ken Maka and you're going to guess slider here, it's a good pitch to run. If he doesn't throw a slider, if he throws the outside fastball, it's a good pitch where they will throw you out. There's a look at Maka in his second year last year. Among the all-time leaders and first-year managers with 96 wins. By the way, Dusty Baker in his first year, second on that list. He won 103 with the Giants his first year of managing.
And finished second.
Finished second to the Bravos.
1 ball, 1 strike.
I believe it was Ralph Houck. 1961 or 64. His first year of managing. He won 109 games.
Not bad.
It's the all-time record.
1-1 is your count. Burns chops it toward third and foul out of play. And Pryor has him set up for a strikeout to end our third inning. Cubs leading 1-0. Sammy Sosa, his first hit since coming off the DL. A ringing double off the center field fence. And he came around on Derrek Lee's base hit to right. Here comes the 1-2. Tap to the right side. Nice piece of hitting by Burns. Herman around second. He'll make it to third. Oakland, a fine job of hitting with 2 strikes yesterday. Keeps this third inning alive with a Burns base hit. They're at the corners for Kotze now.
Burns just able to stay alive. Hits it in a perfect spot. This pitch is just off the corner. It's a great pitcher's pitch. Unfortunately, with Lee holding close, the right side open, Burns hits it through. And now you have to worry about the man who did in the Cubs yesterday, Mark Kotze, a former National Leaguer, by the way.
With the Marlins and the Padres, and now with Oakland, Kotze, a strikeout victim his first time up. Oakland threatening to tie the game here. And a good rip at it for strike 1. The corner that time. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I think this time the wipeout pitch to Kotze, if Mark can get to 2 strikes, will be that slider down and in. Till that time, you're probably best served staying away. Although Kotze does have pretty good power to left center field.
Ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike, your count.
Burns is 9 for 9 in stolen base attempts. So you got to keep an eye on him at first base.
Not going. The pitch cut on and missed. 1 more strike and we'll head to the bottom of the third inning with the lead here.
If you're guessing along with Mark Pryor and you're thinking about that low breaking ball, this becomes a good pitch to run with Burns. So far we've seen no movement on the part of the Athletics. See Michael Barrett looking over at the bench. Occasionally, or Larry Rothschild might have a hint as to what to throw.
2-2, not going. Pitch low. He'll be going now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Running the payoff pitch, grounded up the middle. Grunzelanic to an E to his right. Good pickup, and Oakland done in the 3rd inning. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. Pryor leads it 1-0.
Pack the car. Pack the car. Car. In Harvard, yeah.
Dollar. Tonic.
Boston Tea
Patty.
Patty.
I need $1 for a tonic.
Y'all want to get some chowder? Chowder.
The concert was wicked hardcore.
The concert was wicked hardcore.
Getting ready to go to Boston? Fly Southwest Airlines nonstop to nearby Providence or Manchester for just $79 each way.
You are now free to move about the country.
Comcast is working hard, so you won't miss a moment. We're working hard to bring you crystal clear pictures with digital cable. We're working hard to bring you high-speed cable internet. And at Comcast, our promise is to continue bringing new technologies home to you first, to keep you in touch, informed, and in sync, with everything you need to stay connected, now and in the future. All from one single source, Comcast.
Hyundai Initial Quality is winning people over. The Hyundai Sonata was just named the highest-ranked entry midsize car in Initial Quality by J.D. Power & Associates. That dedication to quality lets Hyundai offer America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles. And the feature-packed Hyundai Sonata starts for as little as $15,339. So don't buy another sedan before you check out the highest-ranked Hyundai Sonata. Hyundai, win. Get a 2004 Sonata with $2,000 cash back or 0% APR.
Cubs fans, enjoy a drink with your friends before, during, or after the game at the Friendly Confines. Near the corner of Addison and Sheffield, the Friendly Confines offers easy access in and out of the game. Enjoy Cubs ambience inside or order from the grill and relax in the outdoor patio.
3rd inning for the Cubs, leading by a run. Michael Barrett. Robbed by Bobby Crosby at short, shows bunt and takes a quick strike. The Cubs have a 1-run lead early today. Let's see if they can make it stand up.
I think Mulder wants to throw too many of those curveballs for strikes. Not quite as sharp breaking as we'll see tomorrow with Barry Zito.
Fly ball hit high in the air toward left. Burns will drift back, and again with the wind blowing in, he'll have an easy play. Again, Mulder grew up in the south suburbs of Chicago. Was he a Cubs fan or a White Sox fan?
I mean, it's not that I never disliked the Cubs. I mean, you know, you come home from grade school or middle school and the Cubs were on, you know, 2, 3 o'clock, you know, and I'd always catch the game. So I always watched them. It's just I like the Sox better. So, I mean, you know, there's extra incentive to beat them, but I think no matter who it is, there's extra incentive to beat them.
So, Steve, yet another in a long line of Major League youngsters who says, I watched you when I grew up.
Well, unfortunately, it's some of the older Cub fans that are telling me now I watched
right.
you while I was growing up. And I say, hey, Methuselah, lighten up.
Here's Alou. He swings and misses and is down 2 strikes.
There was a couple of good curveballs from Mulder, who has overwhelming stuff most of the time. He's probably in line for his biggest year to this point, 2001 at 21-8.
Alou reaches out, tries to dump that ball into right field, but Jermaine Dye is up to the task. And 2 quick outs brings up Sammy Sosa. He had the hardest hit ball for the Cubs. A rocket to right center field.
The Cubs welcome Sammy back in the lineup. They did pretty well without him. 3 over 500.
1 ball, no strikes.
I think there's one thing most pitchers will tell you, however. With Sammy in the lineup, you view the lineup a little differently. As good a player as Ramirez is and as clutch a hitter as Louis is, there's a lot of pitchers that fear Sammy.
Even when he's not swinging the bat well, he is a threat to break out at any time.
Well, there's no weather condition in no part of the ballpark where he can't hit a home run. That's pretty unusual, but he's got to get his timing back, and hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later.
They green light him again on a 3-0 pitch. This time, though, he fouls it out of play.
This time was a slider instead of a fastball. So those Michigan State guys, Mark Mulder, you can fool them once. Not going to throw him a 3-0 heater again.
Full count now, 3-2. Sosa's aboard with a 2-out walk. Second issued by Mulder today. And Aramis Ramirez will be next up.
Aramis putting together just a banner year. And it's been mostly accumulated in the number 4 spot in the batting order, where he's been more effective than any other number 4 hitter in baseball.
That's in for a strike. It's 0-1.
I don't think the fact that he's hitting 5 today is going to really affect his approach. He's on line to probably drive in 130 this year.
Vicious foul ball. 0-2 now.
Mulder stayed inside twice. You'd have to think he'd try to fade this one away. 1 year ago today, he hit a little less, drove the ball out of the ballpark a whole lot less. Maybe the product of having a Cub uniform and a Pirate uniform.
And even better is catching the ball a whole lot more. Missed the inside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I think the Cubs figured Aramis was going to hit. I don't think they figured defensively he'd be as good as he's been. In fact, he had a play for the ages defensively in Game 1 yesterday.
What you had to love about the play was not only did he dive and make the play close to the foul line, but from his knees, he threw a strike from the deepest part of the infield.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Aramis Ramirez. Cubs trying to add to a 1-run lead here. And he's worked it even, 2-2. Pulled toward third. Herman, good pickup, and the flip to second in time to retire the side. Boy, we've seen some outstanding defense already today, and it's a 1-0 Cub lead after 3.
Cubs baseball is brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. Over 2,800 nonstop daily flights to 60 destinations all across the country. Buick, the spirit of American style. And by Ricoh. How well do you print, copy, scan, fax? How well do you share?
Here's an honest question. If we don't scream and shout or pound on the hood, and we offer you a great car with award-winning quality, rated a first for safety, that gets nearly 30 miles per gallon highway, for a car like that, would you expect this? Now get $3,000 cash back on the 2004 Buick LeSabre. Or if you're a current GM owner, we'll make that $5,000. It's time to see your Buick dealer.
When we are dancing and you're dangerous, near me, I get ideas, and after we have kissed goodnight, still you linger.
Ricoh moves your ideas forward.
You get ideas too.
you believe in love at first sight? Or should I walk by again? Are you from Memphis? Because you're the only 10 I see. So, can I buy you a drink? Or would you rather have the cash?
Okay. You got to the count of 3 to take your bid. That works.
Don't make it the usual. Make it Mike's Hard Lemonade. Hardly the usual.
Here we go to the 4th inning, and that means it's time to cue the duck. Our Aflac trivia question. Who are the Oakland A's American League Rookies of the Year in 1986, 1987, and 1988?
Mark McGwire was one of them.
I would guess Canseco another. The Bash brothers were youngsters at the same time out there. But it's the third that's problematic at the moment. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jermaine Dye. Dye hit a ball a long way to right field in the 1st inning. Sosa caught it right at the door to the batting cage.
Jermaine Dye is a candidate for Comeback Player of the Year. It was a very disappointing year for him last year. He's come roaring back this year.
Hello, Jermaine.
This will get you roaring backwards. High tide heater.
And that's how you answer it. A line drive into the left field corner. And Jermaine Dye on his way to second base, leading off the Oakland 4th.
No contact last time up for Hatteberg, so he's got to make sure whatever he does, he pulls the ball. That looked like a little slider that just went up there spinning. And that will show you the inconsistencies when you've had a layoff. The breaking ball does not consistently break as much or in the spots you want it.
That'll bring up Hatteberg, who was called out on a check swing leading off the Oakland 2nd. And he hits a flare to left center field. That's going to drop in front of Alou. They're going to wave Dye around. Alou loads up. Here's his throw to the plate. It is off target. And Scott Hatteberg ties the game with his 41st RBI.
What Hatteberg didn't do, however, was realize that that throw was too high to be cut off. No chance to get Dye. Hatteberg probably should be standing at second base. You have to watch the angle, and when you realize the throw is too high to be cut off, you should take the extra base. Moises does a good job of it. He doesn't have a great arm and takes a few too many steps. Hatteberg just puts on the brakes.
So Oakland ties the game here in the 4th with the shortstop Bobby Crosby up. He flied out to center his first time. 4 Oakland hits in the game. A big scoring chance for the Cubs in the 2nd. Looming large now. We've got a tie instead of the lead. And that's low to even up the count. Broken bat back to the mound. Fryer, a perfect feed. And he starts the double play. You saw Mark flinch as the ball came his way, not from the baseball, but from the bat, which shattered and ended up between himself and third base.
Mark Fryer's a real good athlete, and he makes a good throw. Right on the money for a 1-6-3.
Base is clear now for Damian Miller. He was caught looking, ending the Oakland 2nd. 1 ball, no strikes. The Reds will be in St. Louis again a little later this afternoon. Cincinnati had a 3-2 lead, 2 outs and a 3-2 count in the bottom of the 9th inning. But Barry Larkin mishandled a ground ball hit to him that allowed the game tying run to score for the Cardinals, and then Pujols won it with a home run in the bottom of the 10th. So St. Louis suddenly hot again. They've won 5 in a row. They've built their lead to 3 games over the Reds and Cubs in the Central.
Cubs didn't see Pujols in their 4-game series. They didn't miss him. And the National League pitchers would just as soon he'd take even more time away from that lineup.
Well, we'll see him next week. 3-0 count. And 4 straight. Puts Miller at first. First Mark Pryor walked today, and it brings up Scutaro with 2 outs.
When Oakland leaves town, Monday is an off day, and then it's 3 in St. Louis, only to come back and face the White Sox across town. And then after 2 more with Houston, the month of June, the toughest month on the schedule, will go by the board. So far, the Cubs have done a pretty good job of staying afloat.
Scutaro hit a comebacker, his first time up. Kraft Eye Institute upcoming schedule reflects what Steve was speaking of a moment ago. Cardinals and White Sox next up on the schedule. 1-1 now to Scutaro. Hard to believe it, but Oakland has just killed the National League Central in interleague play all time. 19-3 against the Central.
Well, for the most part, Chip, they've just got overwhelming pitching. You look at the starters and consider Harden in that group. They added a number 5 in Redmond to go with the big 3, Mulder, Zito, and Hudson. You don't score many runs against this team.
And that's what the Cubs are going to be banking on when Kerry Wood comes back. It'll be the first time all year, when he does return, that they will have their projected starting 5 in turn all year long, and yet here they are, 3 games out of first place.
Well, the Cubs know that their starting rotation matches up with anybody's and is better than most.
Out of play again.
Interleague ranking all time, this Oakland bunch has been real good. Runs per game, a very important stat. You can have that one of batting average. Doesn't mean much if you're not scoring.
2-2 count again. And back to the screen from Scutaro. Oakland making a lot of contact today, forcing Pryor to throw a lot of pitches. He's not through the 4th yet. And it's tied at 1.
Last night, or yesterday afternoon, a bullpen saver. Clement and Beltran, that was it.
Took a little off, and Scutaro hits it into left field. And again, Pryor looking at that right hand. That pitch appeared to just spin off of his grip. And Oakland has him first and second with 2 outs now.
I did feel it would be 5 starts before Mark Pryor was able to consistently get a feel for the breaking ball. And Larry Rothschild goes out to have a word with him. 5 men have batted. 4 have reached base successfully, but the double play interrupted what would have been a big inning. So at the 67 pitch mark, Mark Pryor probably going to be effective to somewhere between 95 and 100.
And so Larry's meeting a brief one. Esteban Herman, an infield hit, is the batter now. And like the Cubs in the 2nd inning, Oakland in this 4th inning has a run, 3 hits and a walk. With the key play, the double play, started by Pryor off the bat of Bobby Crosby. There's a good breaking ball for a strike. We're here again tomorrow. It'll be a 1 o'clock start at Wrigley Field. Zito versus Zambrano. Special day as well. One of the first 20,000 fans in the ballpark, you'll get a scratch and win card, and 500 of you will receive an MLB authentic Ernie Banks autographed Rawlings baseball. That's compliments of Nextel. 0-2 the count to Herman. That's off the plate. Fans are encouraged to hold on to those cards for second chance drawings throughout the game. There's no purchase necessary, and for complete rules visit Cubs.com. Always great to see Ernie Banks here at the friendly confines of Wrigley Field. And a fly ball right center field. Can Sammy get there? He can't. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Miller will score. Scudero around third. He's going to make it. Herman with great speed dives in with a 2-out triple, and Oakland leads it by 2.
RBIs 4 and 5 for Esteban Herman. He's made a terrific play at third. He's got a couple of hits today. And that's the first in what should be a few triples because he has great speed. You see that breaking ball staying up there? That's a result of inactivity and some elbow difficulties. Not necessarily now, but coming back and strengthening it enough to throw that pitch consistently.
1 strike, the count to Mulder. A 4-hit inning for Oakland. They've out-hit the Cubs 6-3. Fly ball toward left. Moises Alou is there, and that'll retire the side. Oakland takes the lead with 3 in the 4th. It's a 3-1 score with Derrek Lee coming up next.
Not too close. What do you think? I got that insurance?
What insurance is that, Yogi?
Aflac. The one you really need to have. If you don't have it, that's why you need it.
Need what?
Aflac. Well, if you get hurt and miss work, it won't hurt to miss work. And they give you cash, which is just as good as money.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Toyota's summer tent event is on, and now's a great time to get a new SUV.
Sequoia,
4Runner,
Highlander,
RAV4.
Hurry now for big savings on Toyota's great lineup of 5 SUVs.
I don't want to spend a lot of money.
Get 0 financing for 36 months on a new 04 Highlander, or go for 1.9 financing on a new RAV4. Both have the lowest fuel costs in their class. So hurry to Toyota's summer tent event and save.
Cash, dinero, moolah.
On now at your Toyota dealer.
Robert Morris College is one of the largest private colleges in the state. We awarded more bachelor's degrees in business management than any other private college in Illinois. A college that will test one's inner strength and create a competitive attitude, where students design a path toward their future and turn their dreams into reality. It all leads to a collegiate experience that's like no other. Robert Morris College. Real college for the real world.
Sundays at 10 p.m. Join Gail Fisher and Damon Andrews for Chicago Baseball Extra. Take a look back at the week that was with expert analysis from Joe Girardi and Ron Kittle. Chicago Baseball Extra, presented by Coldwell Banker Residential Brokerage. Sundays at 10 on Fox Sports Net.
Well, an uphill climb for the Cubs as we revisit our Aflac trivia question. Oakland had 3 rookies of the year in 86, 87, and 88. We got 2 of the 3.
I think you found the third one. But we'll hold it in abeyance. There it is, Walt Weiss.
Boy, he was a good player.
He was a real good player. Didn't quite have the power of the other 2, however.
Derrek Lee, a looper into center field, and that'll drop for a leadoff single. Let's see if the Cubs in their home park can come right back on this Oakland club, trailing by a 3-1 score. Lee aboard, Corey Patterson to hit, and he laid down a beautiful bunt his first time.
Derrek Lee now 5 for 5 lifetime against Mulder. So he's probably very happy that he doesn't have to face him during the regular season a whole lot.
Patterson, a chance here to drive Lee around. Big swing and a miss.
Well, the Cubs aren't an aggressive base running team, and the combination of Mulder and Miller very difficult to run against. So you figure that they're going to have to hit their way into some runs. They're not going to run their way into any.
1 strike the count to Corey, and that one again into center field, shallowly hit. Kotze, though, better jump, makes the play for out number 1. Patterson pops out. Martinez the hitter. He singled his first time up. That's it at the knees for a strike. White Sox, by the way, traded Billy Koch.
Yes, they did.
To the Florida Marlins.
So we will be seeing him in this league.
And the Marlins playing very good baseball. They've delighted in the play of Benitez in the 9th inning. I think he's only blown 2 saves and has mid-20s already for them.
Well, they might have lost Beckett, however. Said he heard something pop. And if it's not fireworks night, that's a bad sign for a pitcher.
He had blister problems too. But I don't think that's what he was talking about.
No.
They did get A.J. Burnett back, however, did the Marlins, who enter play today. 2 games ahead of the Phillies at 7 over 500. Thanks to the Cubs are playing in the National League East, they too would have a 2-game lead in that division. Central this year, much improved, and best division in the National League. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Ramon Martinez. 3-1 Oakland. A big 3-run 4th turned the game around. That floater stayed a little bit high. 2-2 now. Another chance in center for Kotsay. 2 outs. And Pryor again will hit.
Mulder just 26 years old. In the last 3 years, Oakland has the 2 top pitchers via the win in Mulder and Zito. Zito tied with Jamie Moyer in that scenario, but he's a little younger, so it's a chance for improvement.
Pryor almost took Mulder into center field with that drive. So 2 are on with 2 outs for Grudzielanek.
And Pryor a perfect day, a base on balls, and that ringing line drive.
He's being asked, does he need the jacket on the first base bag, and the answer he said was no. So first and second for Mark Grudzielanek. Mark hit the ball hard his last time up. It rolled out. That ended a bases loaded chance for the Cubs in the second. He takes a strike at the knees. It's 0-1.
Optimistically speaking, on a base hit, Kotsay and Dye throw very well. And they're able to play a little more shallow with the wind blowing in, and Grudzielanek in just his first game back.
Rolled toward third and foul for strike 2. Slowly but surely, the Cubs are getting their team back. No balls, 2 strikes. The count to Mark Grudzielanek. And that's off the plate to make room for Mark on the Cubs roster. Jimmy Anderson designated for assignment today. But he threw 4 great innings when the Cubs needed it most 5 days ago in Houston.
He'll always have Anaheim. The lone career save for Jimmy Anderson.
1-2. Fly ball center field. That'll chase Kotsay back, having trouble with the wind. And he ties a record held by many. 3 putouts, ends the Cub 4th inning. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. Oakland maintains their 3-1 lead.
Ron Santo, all Chicagoans admire him for his brilliant career at third base and as today's broadcast voice of the Cubs. No wonder he always draws a crowd.
Can I have your autograph?
What other reason could there be?
They like my Chevy.
Current GM owners and lessees get $5,000 loyalty cash on a 2004 Tahoe. That's right. Current GM owners and lessees get $5,000 loyalty cash on Tahoe.
Mr. Santo, can I drive your Chevy?
No.
See your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers.
$49 down delivered. Rizza Chevy is your home of $49 down. $49 down on over 400 pre-driven vehicles. That's right. $49 down and drive home today. $49 down on pre-driven and Nissan, Pontiacs, Dodge, Buick, Chevy. $49 down delivers pre-driven sports cars, family cars, luxury cars, pickup trucks, minivans, conversion vans, sport utility. Rizza Chevy is your home of $49 down. $49 down deliver at Rizza Chevy in Bridgeview.
Time for a Pontiac in-game update. I'm Gail Fisher inside the Fox Sports Net newsroom. Josh Beckett says he will make his next scheduled start despite a strained back muscle. The Florida Marlins pitcher left Thursday's game against the White Sox in the 4th inning after feeling a pop in his back. He's scheduled to pitch Wednesday against Atlanta. Beckett says he has no history of back trouble. Meanwhile, Andy Pettitte made a rehab start for the Round Rock Express. He pitched 3 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, and struck out 4, so he is on the road to recovery.
Indeed he is, Gail, but after you give up that many runs in Double-A, Steve, I think he needs 3 or 4 more starts in the minor leagues to get 100%.
Well, especially through the next time the Cubs see Houston.
Absolutely.
Had a pretty good series against him in Houston, minus Pettitte.
And so now in the 5th inning already, Eric Burns, the Oakland leadoff man, comes up. He's struck out and has singled today. 3-run 4th for Oakland turns the game around. And all that damage coming with 2 men out. All 3 inside, 3 balls and a strike.
Mark already in the high 70s. Looks to me like 6 innings tops if things go the way they've gone.
Full count now, 3-2.
Save yourself a whole lot of problems by somehow retiring Burns. This is a heavy infield. He has good speed. So with the infield back, the chopper is the possibility.
Down the right field line, but sliced foul. Burns will hit again. Houston got back into the win column yesterday. They blanked Anaheim 5-0. The Angels having all kinds of trouble winning games. They've lost 10 of 13. Popped up left side of the infield. Ramon Martinez had a little trouble with the high sky, and to a knee he goes to make the play. 1 out.
It's a beautiful day, but you're not going to get a lot of help. There's wispy clouds, but not much contrast as the ball went straight up, and fortunately Ramon stayed with it.
That win for Houston, by the way, number 900 for their manager, Jimmy Williams. Here's Kotsay. There's another fly ball hit to left. Alou flat out sprinting to the warning track, makes the play for out number 2. And Kotsay looking at Alou and said, hey, you're a former Marlin too. Take it easy on me. No such luck for Kotsay. Good play for out number 2.
It tells you how strong Kotsay is because he hit it to one of the deeper parts in straightaway left field. That ball slicing away from Alou, but 1 pitch, the second out of the inning, and that's how Pryor will stay around if he limits those pitches.
Jermaine Dye's hit Rockets twice today and has a double and a run to show for it. And they pitch him inside, and again he backs away from ball 1. Hit towards second. Runtelanek has been tested in both directions today, and Pryor has an easy 5th. Bottom half coming up. 2, 3, and 4 for the Cubs.
When it starts showing up in video games, don't let the needle-pushing T5 Turbo Performance mess with your mind.
It's still built like a Volvo.
Introducing the all-new Volvo S40.
There's proof. Union piping professionals are 17% more productive.
Productivity in our union workforce helps us get our jobs done quickly, efficiently, and within budget.
There's proof. Union piping professionals are better trained.
We've been in the mechanical construction business for 4 generations, and we've always found that our union-trained pipe fitters give the customers greater value on every project.
There's proof. Productivity and value equal higher profits for union contractors and cost savings for customers. It's more than a promise. It's a promise with proof.
A new Ford SUV, an ultra-thin TV. Now get more at your Ford store with a new Ford SUV. The widescreen TV's free. The widescreen TV's free. The screen is flat. Can you hang with that? The widescreen TV's free.
Get 0 for 60 or choose 3,000 to 4,000 cash back. Plus, current Ford owners get an extra 1,000 on Explorer. All that and a free Dell HD-ready LCD TV.
With a new Ford SUV.
We're back at Wrigley Field. Chip Carey, Steve Stone. A very happy Father's Day weekend for you, but not a very happy Father's Day weekend, Steve, for the Cubs bats. They're finding out what the rest of the National League feels like when the Cubs pitching comes to town.
3 left-handers going to mound in this series for Oakland. So far, they've counteracted all of the right-handed thumpers for the Cubs.
And Michael Barrett starts things off against Mark Mulder, down by a 3-1 score. Barrett, as you saw, 0 for 2 in the young game. Bottom of the 5th inning. Time to get something going. Cub bullpen starts to get busy. It is our Toyota fan of the game, Roberta Davis of Princeton, Illinois, is our contestant. If the Cubs score here in the 5th, Roberta wins a Fox Sports Net Toyota prize package, which includes a hat and a t-shirt. And maybe a jacket, too. A little cold today.
Well, you've got to check with Tom Skilling before you come to the ball yard. You never know.
Grounded toward third. Herman's had a good day with the glove today. Low throw, but Hanneberg digs it out. And there's out number 1. Well, I know you and Tom are very close, but I didn't know that you had cellular capabilities.
He calls me directly when the weather is going to take a drastic turn.
It's the middle of June. It's 60 degrees at the ballpark. Winds straight in at 13 miles an hour today.
Just a great day to pitch and a beautiful day in Chicago.
Alou 0 for 2 on the day. Ouch. That smarts. And with those quick hands, Alou does that a lot.
Sandy Crum going out there to attend to him. Dusty Baker also out. Looked like it hit above the shin guard. Take another look at it. Ball's inside, and it does indeed hit the inside of the left knee. That's going to leave a mark, as they say.
No balls and a strike. Line drive to right field. Dye is there to make a waist-high catch.
Pretty good play by Jermaine Dye. That line drive sinking. He didn't know at first if it would stay up long enough. But there's another advantage of the wind blowing in. The ball just refused to dive in front of him, and he made the play.
A lot of folks continue to believe that Wrigley Field is a home run hitter's paradise. Not on a day like today, with 353 feet down the right field line, 355 to left. Pulled foul by Sosa for a strike.
You can still get it out. You just don't see too many towering fly balls leaving the yard. Sammy has the same philosophy that was once told to me by Hall of Famer Willie McCovey.
Broken bat, fly ball, shallow right center field. That might drop and will. So that bat goes down a hero. Sosa 2 hits and a walk. He's been on base 3 times.
On a similar day with the wind blowing in, I said to McCovey, is that wind going to affect anything you hit? And he looked at me with all 6'4.5" and 240 pounds. He said when the big guys hit him, the wind doesn't matter.
He was right.
Sammy cut that off the end of the bat. He'll need a fresh one.
One ball, no strikes to Aramis Ramirez. It's even at 1-1. Oakland's won their division the last couple of years, but hasn't been able to advance past the first round. That's frustrating for them.
Especially what you would consider 3 of the top pitchers in the league. We're not going to see Tim Hudson, but he's wonderful. You factor Mulder and Zito, and they added Rich Harden along with Redmond to the rotation. But in a short series, you're going to see their big 3, and yet they haven't been able to do it.
1-2 the count to Ramirez. It's even now at 2-2. Off his thumbs and down the right field line for Aramis Ramirez. Of course, this Oakland team, rich in history, began as the Philadelphia Athletics. They were a charter franchise when the American League began in 1901. Connie Mack managed them until 1950. And the A's moved to Kansas City ever briefly, and then out west, where they had some great teams in the 70s. And one of the quirkiest owners, if you will, in the history of Major League Baseball, the legendary Charlie Finley. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rolled foul.
The Cubs making Mulder work this inning. Damian Miller out to talk with him on how he wants to go after Ramirez at 2-2. Sammy most likely not a threat to steal. Dusty's going to see to it that Ramirez has a chance to hit a 2-run homer.
Well, if you hit it under radar, you've got a shot. If it gets above the stands or above the cut of the bleachers, it's going to be awfully tough. But if you hit a line drive, you might be able to chase around Sosa. The pitch well off the plate for a full count. 3-2. Derrek Lee waiting on deck. He's a perfect 5 for 5 against the Athletics left-hander.
Well, here's a weird situation. Hanneberg just now getting off the bag. I thought he was going to hold Sammy close at first. And he's moved well in back of him.
There goes Sammy. The payoff pitch is cut on, and was it missed and fouled away?
No.
No, it was missed, and Ramirez doesn't run. That's inexplicable. Sosa would have made it to second. Aramis is out on strikes, and the Cubs are down in the 5th inning. 3-1 is your score heading to the 6th.
The newly designed Nissan Altima. Engaging. A shift in style. From fit to finish. It's forward thinking. Introducing the beautifully redesigned 2005 Nissan Altima at only $239 a month for a limited time. $239 a month. Enlightening. See your Nissan dealer now.
What happens when Jesse James and Kid Rock, 2 masters of metal, set out to ride across Mexico on Jesse's newest creations? A road trip into the soul of Jesse James. Motorcycle Mania 3, premiering tomorrow at 9, only on the Discovery Channel.
Calling all Cubs fans.
Bring your favorite team home year-round with Vineline, the official monthly magazine of the Chicago Cubs. Published out of the Cubs' own friendly confines, Vineline delivers expert team analysis, exclusive player features, outstanding photography, and more. Call 773-404-CUBS to order today and receive a free gift with your subscription. Rates start at just $22.95. Call 773-404-CUBS to order today.
A new Ford SUV, an ultra-thin TV. Now get more at your Ford store with a new Ford SUV. The widescreen TV's free. The widescreen TV's free. The screen is flat. Can you hang with it? The widescreen TV's free.
Get 0 for 60 or choose 3,000 to 4,000 cash back. Plus, current Ford owners get an extra 1,000 on Explorer. All that in a free Dell HD-ready LCD TV.
With a new Ford SUV.
Well, tomorrow, join Ron Kittle, Joe Girardi, Kevin Kennedy, and
me.
Well, yes, if you are Steve Stone, and I think you are, for Chicago Baseball Extra, presented by Coldwell Banker Residential Brokerage. It's the only sports show you need on Sunday night. Chicago Baseball Extra tomorrow at 10 on Fox Sports Net. And Mark Pryor out of the game as we go to the 6th inning.
There's a look at the season of Mike Remlinger, on for the 12th time. He had a late start due to shoulder surgery. Cubs welcome him back.
And the first man he faces is Scott Hatteberg. Hatteberg, an RBI single in the 4th inning. That scored Jermaine Dye. Oakland scored all 3 of their runs in the 4th. And they lead here by a 3-1 score. A chilly Chicago June afternoon. Hatteberg, a real good hitter. And a real good guitar player, too. He's self-taught. Always got to like those guys that take the guitar on the road, Steve. Peg to Remlinger at first. 1 man down. 85 pitches for Pryor, by the way, 54 of them for strikes.
The first man that Remlinger faced was an easy 3-1.
Here's Crosby, fly to center and hit into a double play. When Pryor got that 4th inning double play, looked like he was going to be in pretty good shape. But he walked Damian Miller. Scudero singled, Herman tripled, and that was that. Ball upstairs to Crosby, 1 ball, no strikes.
As you would expect from Remlinger, not a whole lot of these guys have seen it.
That's right through there. We still, of course, have the crosstown series with the White Sox coming up. Home and home series for both franchises. The interleague play experiment has been a wild success. Attendance is up, interest is up, and I know that you and I both agree as Sammy takes a roundabout route to that ball and can't make the play. Crosby at first with 1 out. Is there anything you would do differently about the way interleague play is set up now?
I happen to like it. I think the fans like it, so I don't think there should be a whole lot of changes. I like the rotation of playing different teams. Obviously, Cub fans and Sox fans want to see each other go head-to-head 6 times. Through yesterday, you can see the American League with a lead. They started out on the first day dominating the National League, and Cubs are hoping that trend doesn't continue.
Damian Miller takes a strike. There's some columnists around the country who've suggested that you take the American League game and play the American League game in the National League parks and the National League parks in the American League parks. In other words, the exact opposite of what we're seeing now, just to expose fans in those different cities to that style of play.
Well, you can do that, or you can have the guys on your team play for the other team.
Well, that happens after
or
every
leave
season.
them at the airport and do whatever. But I think the way they have it now, I think the Cub fans here in Wrigley Field get a chance to see designated hitters as much as they probably would like, which isn't very much.
No balls and a strike, the count to Miller. And the interleague play is the subject of our Buick opinion poll. Cast your vote by logging on to fsnchicago.com. I, for one, my opinion, I love the interleague play. I wish that the natural rivalry series was 1 3-game set a year. And I think that in the case of the Cubs, who play in a 6-team division, you only see 2 teams from the other division because of the series with the White Sox. I think that would make that Cubs-White Sox rivalry even greater by playing them just 3 times as opposed to 6. That's just my opinion, but I think Bud Selig has bigger issues on his plate than making us happy. That's back to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, there is another collective bargaining agreement coming up after 2006. I'm sure they will address a number of things. Bringing the DH to a National League park, however, I'm not sure is going to be one of them.
It better not be. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 3-1 Oakland has the lead. Looking for a little more is Damian Miller in the box. It's 2-2. Damian Miller and Eric Karros both got in the game yesterday for Oakland. They were 2 very big parts of the Cubs championship season last year. And both were very warmly received.
Karros is the #1 hitter on this Athletic team against Mike Remlinger. But I don't see him getting into this one for a while. Mulder is still throwing well. Mark Pryor reached his pitch limit, or close to it, so he has departed for the day.
The 2-2 pitch. Good at bat continues for Damian Miller.
Talking with a whole lot of these people around the Oakland club, the one thing that they're very surprised at with Damian Miller is the offense. He's batting close to 290. And he's driven in 29 runs, so they've got some production from behind the plate.
The 2-2 again, and again out of play. Picked off perhaps. Derrek Lee with a perfect throw. Crosby thrown out. 1-3-6.
Mike Remlinger just held on to the ball a little bit longer, and Crosby in a hurry to run. Gets picked off easily. Nice throw by Lee. The ball's waiting for Crosby to arrive.
So a 2-2 count for Miller with 2 outs now. And a little looper, again foul. Come on, Damian. Baseballs are awfully expensive. Let's move this thing along.
Remlinger doesn't have the best of left-handed pickoff moves, but that time it was good enough to cut down Crosby and perhaps take them out of a chance for a big inning.
Miller succumbs. Nothing happening in the Oakland 6. Cubs down by a 3-1 score.
The 260 horsepower supercharged Grand Prix Comp G. The new 275 horsepower GXP. The 350 horsepower GTO. Pontiac, fuel for the soul.
Choices. That's the big difference at Jacobs Twin Auto Plaza. Choose from quality makes. Ford, Mazda, Hyundai, Pontiac, and Buick. Choose from over 60 different models. Then, after you choose a vehicle, Jacobs Twin makes it affordable. Chicagoland loves choices. That's why more smart buyers choose Jacobs Twin Auto Plaza, 6750 West Grand Avenue.
You always win at Jacobs Twin.
Come
Come to Menards for the best selection of pre-assembled fence panels. A treated 4-foot-tall by 8-foot-long dog ear section is $17.77. 6x8 Good Neighbor panels have a finished appearance on each side, $31.99. Give wood fences and siding lasting protection with Olympic weather screen stains. They help prevent sun and weather damage. Choose from semi-transparent or solid, $11.84 a gallon after $3 rebate. Get gallons of savings at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Tomorrow at 11:30 on Fox Sports Net.
Well, we mentioned it earlier, Steve. About 30 years ago, there was the irascible owner of the A's, Charlie O. Finley, who saw them win 3 World's Championships, 72, 3, and 4, and what a great team they had.
Catfish Hunter was a terrific pitcher. The offense was just good enough, and they had Raleigh fingers at the end. Charlie Finley wanted him to use orange baseballs. He thought that would be the next revelation in baseball. As we know, it wasn't. What a team they had in the early 70s, again in the late 80s.
Well, they brought the very colorful uniforms, the white shoes, and they called those guys the Mustache Gang out west. That was a group that didn't really get along in the clubhouse, but they were a wonderful team on the field. That's downstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, with Remlinger due up fourth, the bullpen throwing once again. The Cubs looking for at least a couple of runs.
2-2 to Derrek Lee. Ground ball up the middle. He's 6 for 6 against this guy. Derrek, share the secret with your teammates. Tying run again comes to the plate.
For some reason, he's the one Cub able to consistently see the ball from Mark Mulder. He drove in the Cubs' run, that in the second, and then every other inning, he's delivered a single.
Corey Patterson has sacrificed and has popped out today. 3-1, Oakland in a low-scoring game as we figured it would be with the wind blowing in. And a strike to Corey Patterson.
Beltran ready to go. As you would expect, barring a double play, Remlinger will be taken down.
Oh, knee buckling breaking ball that time.
That one of the best that Mulder's thrown. And it doesn't hurt to have a left-hander at bat when you throw it. Or he's never seen it from Mulder, and he couldn't pull the trigger.
So he has to protect with 2 strikes now. And a slow roller hit to the right side. Lee will move up. Patterson retired. 1 out for Ramon Martinez here. Cubs stay out of the double play. A hit could score a run, bring the Cubs to within 1.
So far, nobody in the on-deck circle. And we'll see if that becomes occupied. And who does it?
From the right side, the Cubs have Ray Ordonez. And they have Macias switch hitter, but Tom Goodwin gets the first opportunity, one would think. Let's see if Ramon can drive in the Cubs' second today. He's 1 for 2. Another good breaking ball. He's gone to that pitch a lot more frequently these last couple of innings for Oakland. One ball, 1 strike. Downstairs at 2-1. Headed toward short. Crosby to his left. Clean pick, perfect throw. Lead of third, 2 outs. And Tom Goodwin indeed announced for Mike Remlinger.
Goodwin has seen Mulder. 1 for 3 against him. Probably as a member of the San Francisco Giants. This year off the bench, Goodwin has had some problems. Remember, Hollandsworth is on the bench today, but you don't want to use him in this early a situation.
Arthur Rhodes back for Oakland as well. He missed yesterday's game for family reasons, so he would be available to close if need be today. Mark McLemore not with Oakland's team today. So keep that in mind as our game moves along to the final 3 innings here. Tom Goodwin, a chance to drive home a 2-out run. Takes another strike. Tom just off the disabled list on the last road trip. 0-2 your count. Third, 2-strike pitch is cut on and missed. And the Cubs are done in the 6th inning. The Cubs have left 7 men on base and trail at 3-1.
What's there to do in Philly? Oh, boy.
Well, I guess they want to come over and see the Liberty Bell.
You got the Liberty Bell.
We have the Liberty Bell.
Pretzels.
The National Constitution Museum.
There's lots of theater, excellent restaurants.
Well, there's a lot of culture here.
It's like a baby New York.
For me, it's
cheesesteak. Cheesesteak.
Cheesesteak.
Cheesesteak?
Cheesesteak.
Now there's another great reason to go to Philly. Fly into Philadelphia International Airport for just $99 on Southwest Airlines.
I love Philadelphia.
You are now free to move about the country.
I said a little honey bunny, tell me what you're 20. I got my rabbit ears on and I wanna get chummy.
Over 8 million drivers feel really good riding with Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
You can elect to go left. You can elect to go right. Or you can be an independent. Summer Jam. Join the party now at your Cadillac dealer. Cadillac. Breakthrough. Visit your Chicagoland area Cadillac dealer for this attractive offer. See dealer for residency restrictions.
Here's a look at our game summary today. Unfortunately, Steve, for the 2nd straight day, Oakland has a late lead.
Well, Derrek Lee has done just about everything right. But the pitching has been terrific for Oakland, and the Cubs trail 3-1. Hits tied at 7. That's our Ford game summary. And Francis Beltran will come into the game. There are the numbers. He pitched an inning in yesterday's game. And he'll have the pleasure of facing the bottom part of the order. But the bottom part of the order is what hurt Mark Pryor in the 4th.
Scutaro has a single and a run. Herman, an infield hit, a triple and 2 RBIs. And then, of course, the Oakland pitcher, Mark Mulder. Keep an eye on Mulder's pitch count, too, for Oakland's bullpen has had horrible problems late this year. A fly ball toward right. Odd route taken, but catch made by Sosa. Again, it's an issue more, I would think, Steve, of timing for Sammy at this point.
I think in both places he's hit the ball today, but back in right field in this ballpark for the first time in a month or so. And Sammy able to make this play.
So 1 up, 1 down. Here's Herman. He's 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs. That's in for a strike to Esteban Herman. 3-1. Oakland has a 7th-inning lead in Game 2 of the series. Popped up right side. Wynn's going to push that one, though, into the sun-bleached crowd to the right. And a 2-strike count to the Oakland third baseman. Actor and Chicago native Vince Vaughn will be here momentarily for Take Me Out to the Ball Game. And we can't wait. We have a very special question to ask him for our studio host, Gail Fisher. As Herman is down on strikes. Vaughn starring in a new movie called Dodgeball. And Gail knows a lot about that. In fact, that's her favorite sport. We'll get the ins and outs of that fine film coming out from Mr. Vaughn momentarily. 2 quick outs. And here's Mulder.
It's a good split finger fastball by Beltran, retiring Herman, something the Cubs had not been able to do today.
Strike 1 to Mulder. Is clear as Beltran delivers another blazing fastball that Mulder tips away. 0-2 is your count. And down on strikes. 3 up, 3 down. For Beltran in the 7th. Let's welcome home Vince Vaughn with Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Chicago native Vince Vaughn. It's good to be home. Good to be with you. Happy Father's Day to everyone. All right, here we go. 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, 'cause it's root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame, 'cause it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Oh, let's get some runs, man.
Introducing Summer Takeoff. Stay at any AmeriSuites or Wellesley Ensign Suites and receive $100 off any airline ticket anytime. So check in and take off.
Hey, where's the salsa? Behind the Heineken.
Get 2 free downloads from Reel with every specially marked 12-pack of Heineken. No purchase required. See store display or Heineken.com for details. While supplies last.
There's only one. Only one minivan has the most advanced safety system. Only one minivan has a flip-fold third-row bench. Only one minivan has so much to offer with Ford's available safety canopy system covering all 3 rows of seats. Ford's adjustable brake and gas pedals, and Ford's family entertainment system. Freestar is the one. Get into an all-new Freestar with 1,000 cash back when financed through Ford Credit. Plus, 4,000 cash back or 0% financing for 60 months. Ford, the one and only.
It's the top of the order in the bottom of the 7th inning. Cubs down by a 3-1 score. Mark Grudzielanek will go to work first against Chicago native Mark Mulder, who delivers a quick strike. Vince Vaughn with us. Nice job with the 7th inning stretch, and welcome home.
I hopefully fought that to a draw, man.
Well, we need to get some runs for you here today.
Yeah, here we go.
Split this series. 1 strike. And that's a little low. You've been a very busy young man, have you not?
Yeah, I've been busy just working on a lot of films and stuff. It's good to be home, good to be with my dad tomorrow for Father's Day.
And tell us about the new flick with Ben Stiller, Dodgeball, a true underdog story.
Yeah, Dodgeball is a comedy, kind of a sports-themed movie.
Right.
I don't want to sound arrogant, but I think it's the greatest dodgeball movie ever made in cinema history.
Well, you're going to be up there in the top 2 for sure.
Definitely the top 2. I think we got that covered. But, you know, like Hoosiers Are Breaking Away,
Sure.
or even Rudy that I was in.
Chariots of Fire.
Chariots of Fire, that's right, Rocky.
Is it that, it's that inspirational?
It's that kind of heart and that kind of spirit.
3 balls and a strike. That's fouled away at the plate. What's it like working with Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson?
Both of them are funny guys, nice guys. They both owe me a lot of money from gambling debts, but, you know, that's just the way it goes, I guess.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Bases clear for Grudzielanek here in our 7th inning.
There you go.
A drive right center field. Cuts a long run. He's not going to get there, and that's going to go to the wall. Grudzielanek on his way to second. He'll pull in there. Welcome back, Mark. He's aboard for the Cubs, who will bring the tying run to the plate.
I'll stay here for a while, Vince, because this is the first semblance of a rally the Cubs have had in some time.
Yeah, they got hot early. That was a weird out they got. I guess they ruled it a single.
They did rule it a single, and it was a very strange play, but hang around long enough, you see all those kind of things, and you're getting a chance to see one of our most beautiful days, although a little chillier than you're used to from Los Angeles.
It was beautiful out here. Can't beat Wrigley Field.
Barrett 0 for 3. The pitch is lined over second, and that's into right field. That's gonna send Grudzielanek around third. The throw to the plate is not cut off. Barrett with an RBI, and we've got a 1-run game. And that Oakland bullpen might want to consider getting busy here in the 7th. Two hitters up, 2 hitters on, 1 run in for Moises Alou.
Barrett takes that fastball on the inner portion, inside out swing, drives it into right field. That's why you love Michael Barrett in the 2 spot. 34 runs batted in, a pretty high total.
That's way off the plate.
Vince, when you were growing up in Lake Forest, did you have an opportunity to come all the way down here and see games at Wrigley Field?
Well, as you know, it's not that far. It's about 35, 40 minutes. So I came a lot as a kid, and, you know, it spoils you. There's no ballpark like it anywhere.
1-0, the count to Alou. Barrett a short lead. The pitch is out of play, foul. You're the president of your high school class. Was that what decided you, for you? Made you you were the president of your high school class.
Yeah,
is that what decided for you to become an actor?
Yeah, you know, my parents were very proud at first when I was the president, and then when they saw my grades, they got nervous. They thought I was going to have to run for 2 terms.
Right. Well, that's beautiful country up north in Lake Forest. 1 ball, 1 strike. A fly ball dumped toward left. Burns, though, will be able to make the play, and there's the first out for Moises Alou.
What's going to be next for you on the calendar? Because we know you're a guy who works a lot. I know you get offered a lot of parts. And what are you going to do next?
Well, I finished the sequel to Get Shorty. It's called Be Cool with Travolta and Uma Thurman, and The Rock's in that, Cedric the Entertainer, a bunch of good actors. And then I just finished a movie with Owen Wilson called Wedding Crashers, where we go to weddings uninvited trying to meet girls. And we just finished that. We shot that in Washington, D.C.
Sammy Sosa, the hitter. How do you talk to Owen Wilson and other guys who are funny men in movies? How difficult is it for them when they walk into a room, whether they're acting or getting ready for a scene? Everybody expects them to be funny all the time. How do they handle that? How do you handle that?
You know, I think it's harder for stand-up comedians because people are like, tell me a joke.
Sure.
But with us, you know, yeah, you have that kind of pressure sometimes. You just don't have anything funny to say. This would be one of those times, actually.
I understand perfect. 1 ball, 1 strike. That was pretty funny, actually. 3-2 is your score in the 7th inning. A perfect day for Sosa. A couple of hits, a walk, and a run scored. The Oakland pen, by the way, is busy now, and that's been the sore spot for them this year. Good cut out of play. 1-2 your count.
Vince, when did you make your conscious effort and know that acting?
Well, I think it was really failure in all other areas. Like I said, I got terrible grades, and I always liked acting, and I was just sort of naive. I didn't really know the odds. So at 18, I left Chicago and went out to Los Angeles, and then Favreau wrote Swingers. We went on the movie Rudy that we did, and then he wrote Swingers, and that sort of put us on the map, and we've been very, you know, lucky ever since, and very thankful for it as well.
Great way to make a living. You see most of the world in the business long enough.
Yeah, you get a chance to travel and see a lot of places, which is great.
2-2 to Sammy is just off the plate. Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Ramirez waiting on deck.
Now the question is, will you take a chance and run with Barrett to stay out of the double play?
Crowd on its feet wants Sammy to do something spectacular now. 3-2 pitch, runner not going, and it's bounced towards second. 1 there, 2 there, and that'll retire the side. The Cubs don't run. The A's get the ground ball. Cubs settle for a 1-run deficit. Vince, great to see you.
Great to see you.
Best
Hopefully
of
we'll
luck.
get that other run back.
Well, we'll do it. Can't wait to see you in Dodgeball and the Wedding Crashers. Vince Vaughn of Chicago, our guest at Wrigley Field.
Thank you, guys.
Cubs baseball is brought to you in part by Cadillac. Bold vehicles defying convention. Robert Morris, Rio College for the real world. And by Nissan, who invites you to shift the way you move through the world.
Give your engine what it wants. Pennzoil with time-release molecules delivers non-stop protection throughout the life of your oil. Not just oil, Pennzoil.
Stop by Murray's Auto Parts for great savings on Pennzoil motor oil.
It's baseball season imperfect. Here, bases and cameras are always loaded. RBI stands for Really Big Ice Cream. And the home team's record is spotless, as are their uniforms. Of course, life isn't always perfect, so there's Walgreens, open every day, many 24 hours, with everything needed to have a little fun. That's life. This is Walgreens.
I believe in winning the right way and being honest on the field. Chevy and I have the same philosophy. Chevy's got new models on the road right now, and I can't wait to see what they come up with next.
The word is out. Current GM owners and lessees get $5,000 loyalty cash on every 2004 Chevy Trailblazer. That's $5,000 loyalty cash on Trailblazer.
You know, you think about the American way, you think about baseball, apple pie, and Chevrolet.
Try Arby's new Market Fresh Wraps. Tender, fresh sliced meats, authentic cheeses, and tasty sauces. Made fresh when ordered on a low-carb wrap. Counting carbs never tasted so good.
If you're looking for the perfect Father's Day gift, well, visit Cubs.com. Pick up a copy of Wrigley Field, a celebration of the friendly confines. It captures the Cubs' storied history and features behind-the-scenes images of this great 90-year-old ballpark, as captured by Cubs photographer Stephen Green. The perfect Father's Day gift is only $34.95, and it's available now at Cubs.com.
Francis Beltran has got to somehow get out of this inning without allowing this Oakland team to score. It's a 1-run game. And the bullpen for the Cubs up and going.
One more note on that Wrigley Field book, Steve. If you order today, we guarantee you delivery by Father's Day 2005.
There is no doubt about it. And, of course, the audio version of that is very good.
It's the pictures and descriptions and the accounts of the ballpark are worth twice the price. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Derrek Burns, the Oakland leadoff man, with a third-inning single to his credit today. One ball, 2 strikes. And that's tipped into the glove of Michael Barrett. 1 up, 1 down. 3rd strikeout in a row for Beltran, who has overwhelming stuff at times.
Well, Francis heated him upstairs at 96. Used a split finger last inning to great effect. And despite the youth, he does have closer stuff.
Here's Kotze. The Cubs have held him in check today. He's 0 for 3. Took a little off and dropped it in for a strike to even up the count. 1-1. Cubs have trimmed it to 3-2. But outs are getting scarce. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Kotsay.
Mulder, no stranger to the complete game. He's completed 3 of them this year, half of Oakland's output as a team.
And he's been as good as advertised today. And another real tough lefty tomorrow, Barry Zito for Oakland. Carlos Zambrano will go for the Cubs. If you didn't hear the story yesterday, it'll be only the 3rd time in baseball history that 2 men whose surnames start with the letter Z are starting for their respective teams. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Out of play foul. It will be the second Zito-Zambrano matchup. Victor Zambrano of Tampa Bay faced Zito last year.
Carlos's ERA a lot slimmer than Barry Zito. Completely different type pitchers.
That one skips over the roof to the left side. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Slow roller hit to the right side. Rutzelanic backs up nicely. You know what, Steve? He's looked very comfortable out of second base today. I know he stumbled making a play early in the game, but there's been no ill effects, or at least seemingly no ill effects, with regards to that Achilles tendon today.
We'll have to see how he comes out of this one and how he feels tomorrow. But he hit a double, and he ran pretty hard. He's played very well in the field. And the ball he stumbled on, he wasn't going to be able to make that play anyway. So, well, the Cubs are very happy to have Mark back in the lineup.
That'll bring up Jermaine Dye. He's doubled and scored today. Were it not for the wins, he would have had a first-inning home run by plenty. He sent Sammy Sosa to the wall in right. That ended Oakland's first. Ball too high. 2 balls, no strikes to Jermaine Dye. Former Brave, a former Royal, now a current Oakland Athletic. One can only wonder when Carlos Beltran will be a former Royal.
There's a few teams that are thinking about unloading at this point. Consequently, the Major League scouts of their respective teams will be going around watching them play. The question mark will be, how much salary will I have to take on, and who do you want in return?
2 balls, 2 strikes. Another massive crowd here. And a sellout of 40,022. That pops away, and Dye will face a 3-ball, 2-strike pitch from Francis Beltran. Standing room and sitting room only today.
If you don't get Dye, then you have to ask yourself, do you want the Beltran Hatteberg, or do you want to go to the pen?
Line drive left field. Let's see what Dusty Baker thinks.
Well, if he goes to the pen and brings in Merker, you're probably going to see, I would assume, Queiroz. But we'll have to wait and see what Ken Maka does, as Dusty's made his decision. He's going to go to the pen. Now the ball is in the court of Ken Maka. And again, he does have Eric Queiroz on the bench.
So Beltran goes an inning and 2/3 with 3 strikeouts and 1 hit. Kent Merker is announced. Hatteberg getting the scouting report from the Oakland staff, and apparently Hatteberg will be the man staying in for the Athletics. We'll tell you about Kent Merker's season when we return after this.
Introducing Summer Takeoff. Stay at any AmeriSuites or Wellesley Ensign Suites and receive $100 off any airline ticket anytime. So check in and take off. For details, visit summertakeoff.com.
No, Bugsy, in our line of work, I'm glad we have that insurance. What insurance, Doc? Nope, that's not it. The one that pays you cash if you get hurt and can't work. And, Dad's, it's right on the tip of my bill. Flapjack?
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Tink, I knew the name all along.
A new Ford SUV, an ultra-thin TV. Now get more at your Ford store with a new Ford SUV. The widescreen TV's free. The widescreen TV's free. The screen is flat. Can you hang with it? The widescreen TV's free.
Get 0 for 60 or choose 3,000 to 4,000 cash back. Plus, current Ford owners get an extra 1,000 on Explorer. All that in a free Dell HD-ready LCD TV.
The new Ford SUV.
Fox Sports Net invites you to check out the real Subway series going on now at Subway restaurants. What side are you on? Try Dusty's North Sider with ham and pepperoni or Ozzy's South Sider with turkey roast beef and bacon. Just $2.99 each.
Subway. Eat fresh.
Ken Merker on for the 26th time.
The reason I thought he'd face Karros is that Karros is hitting .407 against him, but it's going to be Merker against Hannibal.
Well off the plate, 1 ball, no strikes. Hatteberg, an RBI single back in the 4th inning. That tied the game at 1.
Hatteberg's been a better hitter against left-handers this year than right-handers.
So Ken Maka giving his starting first baseman a chance to add to the lead and stay in the game. Hopped up left side. Window pushing that well out of play over the Cub dugout. It's really the only park in baseball where the outcome is determined almost as much by the weather as the people participating in the game itself.
It's a different game, there's no doubt, with the wind blowing in as briskly as it is. Even pop-ups that normally would have stayed in play, the hitter gets an advantage. But fly balls also get batted down, so it all evens out.
Runner goes. A strike and absolutely no chance for Michael Barrett. Merker forgot about Jermaine Dye, who steals his 2nd base of the year.
You come into the ball game, the one thing you can't do is lose sight of who's on the base paths. And you can see Dye has about 10 steps before that ball ever gets to Barrett.
So an RBI chance for Hatteberg, who's been tearing the cover off the ball this month. And it's out of play. Since May 27th, Hatteberg has driven in 23 runs. At this pace, he'll have his career high by next month with half the season to go. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the former Boston Red Sox performer Scott Hatteberg. 2-2 now.
Hatteberg has pretty good power, and Moises is playing him shallow and left. So on a hard hit ball to left field, I think you might have a shot at Dye if it is a base hit.
Count goes full now at 3-2. Crosby waiting on deck.
Farnsworth waiting in the pen in case Merker doesn't get Hatteberg.
Here comes the payoff. Fly ball softly hit, shallow right. Sammy Cumming charging in, and Grunzolani puts the squeeze on it. He was pointing to Sosa, but the ball died. He made the catch, and the A's are done in the 8th.
Toyota's Summer 10 event is on now.
Cool.
Hurry and save on Toyota's complete car lineup, America's #1 selling car brand.
Camry, Corolla,
Matrix,
Solara.
Now get 0 financing up to 48 months or 1,000 customer cash on the #1 selling Camry.
All right.
And be sure to see the new 05 Corolla that's just arrived. So hurry to Toyota's Summer 10th event and save.
Money, money, money. Ah, yeah.
On now at your Toyota dealer.
Did the greatest king who ever lived Cross the battlefields, search the highlands, and discover the life behind the legend as we journey through the centuries and into the darkest regions of England. Quest for King Arthur, Sunday night at 8, as only the History Channel can bring you.
Refreshing, reviving Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee. Pick one up today, and it'll return the favor.
Buy an iced coffee or any other product and receive $15 off admission to Six Flags Great America.
Sports show period. Weeknights on Fox Sports Net.
Time for a Cadillac in-game update. I'm Gail Fisher inside the Fox Sports Net newsroom. After falling to the Detroit Pistons in the NBA Finals, the Lakers look like they're also going to lose some of their key personnel. Phil Jackson announced that he is stepping down, and now Shaquille O'Neal is requesting a trade, unhappy with the direction the team is headed.
Well, Gail, I know Shaq, and he can request all he wants, but he ain't going anywhere. At least not for the rest of that contract with the Lakers. As Aramis Ramirez leads off the bottom of the 8th inning for the Cubs, who are down a single run again to this Oakland pitching staff.
What will be interesting, he runs Mulder out there against Ramirez. But you've got Lee in the on-deck circle, who was 3 for 3 the first time he saw Mulder, and he's 3 for 3 today. Question for Ken Maka, do you stay with your starter? Interleague wins since 2001, Mark Mulder at the top of the heap.
This is pitch number 112 today. And it's rolled over the top of the Cub dugout. Fans can't locate the souvenir, and the blue-clad Cub fan picks it up.
Justin Dukeshire loosening in the bullpen.
1-2 count. And another shot at those guys over there. And the guy sitting behind the Cub fan with the blue shirt comes up for the baseball. Space him out a little bit, Aramis. That's not fair. There we go. Now let's see if he can put one in between those two white lines in fair territory and in amongst the green-clad Oakland outfield. She's ready to make a catch. He's ready for a big hit here. 0 for 3 is Ramirez. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That foul in the box.
That time he did a good job of staying alive, because that was a 2-seam fastball out away from him. He thought it was too close to take. Too good a pitch to hit hard.
Here comes the 1-2. Got him swinging. One man down.
That's a split finger that he uses so well as a wipeout pitch. That's probably the pitch that separates him from most other talented left-handers in the league. Ramirez reads it as a fastball, and as you can see, it just drops out of sight. And he is indeed going to face Derrek Lee.
Derrek Lee, a perfect 6 for 6 against Mulder. 3 of those hits have come today. 1 of them drove home a run. Looking back in this game, that crazy second inning, how big is the run the Cubs didn't get? They're looking right now. A line drive off the bat of Ramon Martinez that was caught, then dropped by Burns in left. Derrek Lee and Ramirez were each standing atop the third base bag. Ramirez didn't advance. Lee was then thrown out. 7-1-4 on the play. And then Mark Grudzielanek with 2 outs rolled into a force out, and that was that. Cubs settled for 1 in that second. Could have had a much bigger lead. 3 balls, no strikes. Taking all the way is Derrek Lee now.
Troy Hawkins joins Farnsworth.
Pulled toward third. Amazing. He's 7 for 7.
I have a hard time understanding how Maka left him in the game with a guy that's continued to blast away at him, and that's a tying run. Let's see if Corey can get the job done. You figure if the Cubs score 2, it'll be LaTroy. Dutcher and Rincon. Rincon, the diminutive left-hander on the right.
One would think he's up to keep Todd Hollandsworth at bay. He's available off the bench from the left side. Ordonez and Macias, right-hand hitter Ordonez. Macias switch hits. The Cubs also have Paul Bacco from the left side. Patterson 0 for 2 with a sacrifice. That bunt came in the second inning. And it was a beauty. He nearly beat it out. He's not thinking about bunting here with 1 out, however. He's thinking about a gapper or a long ball. Chop toward first, right at the bag. Foul ball. It's a foul ball called immediately over at first.
And it's a break because it would have been a double play. Larry Young on the call. So Corey and the Cubs have another life. Right on the bag, doesn't really move at all. And you can see that ball in foul territory, as was the left foot of Hatteberg. Matters only where the ball is when you touch it.
No balls, 1 strike for Corey Patterson. Cubs had 2 runners picked off first yesterday. I was really surprised that Derrek Lee was one of them. Mark Redmond pitched for the Marlins. Lee was the first baseman for Florida last year. He's a little closer to the bag now with 1 strike. And a ground ball towards second, slowly hit. Lee is tagged out, and they throw out Corey Patterson to complete the double play. A 1-out single for the Cubs ends with a double play ball, and we go to the 9th. 3-2 Oakland.
Oh, yeah, looking good. Keep working. Not under the boat now. Here. You got it? Get in. Yeah.
Bummer, it's just an 8-footer. Oh, well, throw it back. Yeah.
A bad day in Florida beats a good day almost anywhere else. Fly Southwest Airlines from Chicago Midway to select cities in Florida for just $79 each way.
You're now free to move about the country.
Cubs fans, come early and save big with the Cubs Early Bird Discount. During the first hour, the gates are open. Enjoy 25% off all food and non-alcoholic beverages. For hot dogs, pizza, Pepsi, and more, catch the Cubs Early Bird Discount.
Buick presents a summer sensation. What'll you do in your rendezvous? Will great cash back or a low monthly payment help with your plans? This $279 a month lease puts you in the driver's seat of the Rendezvous CX. Call for details. Quality, versatility, and fun. Plus, Rendezvous saves with a sensational 26 miles per gallon highway. Get into summer. Get into Rendezvous at your Buick dealer.
It's an interleague showdown as Frank Thomas and the Sox head north of the border to battle the up-and-coming Expos. Interleague play presented by Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you. Hey, Cubs fans, put on your rally caps and let's cheer for an exciting Cubs finish. Brought to you by New Finish, the once-a-year car polish.
Our producer of Cubs baseball on Fox Sports Net is Bob Albrecht. Today's game directed by Dave Turner. The associate producer, Joe Corneo. Our stage manager, Christine Charbonneau. Our production manager, Moheen Ramsey. The executive producer, Josh Wine. And our vice president of programming, Don Graham. We go to the 9th inning, down a run. Oakland 3, Cubs 2.
Interesting play because Derrek Lee got trapped. He could have stopped, but if he did, I'm thinking you stop far enough from second where they just make a throw to first and get you at second anyway. So he was too far down the line to stop, and they turned 2. And Farnsworth comes into the game for the 35th time.
They'll face Crosby the first time here in the 9th inning for Oakland. Crosby is 1 for 3 today. Cubs about hit Oakland 10-8. Trail it 3-2. Crosby a looping line drive. Wynn pushing that toward their pen and foul. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Chad Bradford loosening up in the bullpen. And he saved his first game of the year yesterday.
And that's cause for celebration out west because Oakland's bullpen by and large has had an awful time nailing down games. They've blown 13 saves this year.
Bradford had 72 appearances last year and just 2 saves.
Ground ball up the middle. Crosby a base hit. So an important insurance run aboard for the A's potentially in this 9th inning. And Damian Miller will stand in. As you know, friends, 1984 was Ryne Sandberg's MVP year. Wednesday, June 30th, the first 20,000 fans get a scratch and win card. 100 random winners will get a beautiful Mitchell & Ness Cooperstown Authentic Collection 1984 Ryne Sandberg home Cub jersey compliments of Red Baron frozen pizza. Fans are encouraged to hold on to their cards. There'll be second chance drawings throughout the game. No purchase necessary. Log on to Cubs.com for full contest details.
Last year the Cubs used Damian Miller on hit and runs. Of course, Farnsworth not real quick to home plate. That sets up some possibilities.
Ball too low to Damian Miller. 2 balls, no strikes. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th. Martinez, the pitcher spot. Mark Grudzelanek, Gardu.
It'll be Hollandsworth if it's Bradford, and it appears that's going to be the case.
2 balls, no strikes.
Well, when it started the at-bat, Damian Miller was willing to give himself up. He'll take at least 1. And then maybe they'll use a hit and run with Crosby, who has good speed, but's been picked off today.
3 balls and a strike. Well, if Miller reaches, the Cubs are just going to pull the old rope-a-dope on him and watch Scudero hit into a 5-4-3 triple play to end the 9th.
It's a good thought.
Full count, 3-2. Will Ken Maka run here?
He probably should, but they don't run a great deal.
He's running. Good jump. Bouncing ball towards second. They will stay out of the double play. And Miller is retired. Runner at second for Scudero.
Well, without movement, that's a tailor-made 2. Sending Crosby with another insurance run in scoring position.
Scudero 1 for 3 with a run scored. Off the plate, ball 1. Barrett out to chat as Oakland has a runner at second. Maybe a new set of signs coming up here. Red Sox are in San Francisco. Boston failed to score in the first inning of play. Boston trying to once again catch the Yankees. Boston 3.5 games back in the AL East. Tampa Bay, the hottest team in baseball, won their 9th consecutive yesterday and beat Randy Johnson in the process. Tampa Bay 11.5 games out of first, 4 under 500, and a mere 8 games behind Boston for second and the American League wild card, perhaps. They're dreaming in Central Florida.
Good luck.
2 balls, no strikes. 2-1. But Uncle Lou Piniella has done a heck of a job in molding that franchise in his second year as the skipper.
They also have a lot of young talent, so the development process has worked pretty well down there, but it's a pretty tough division. And it's a big money division.
Yes, it is. 2 balls, 1 strike to Scudero. Ball 3. Esteban Herman waiting on deck. We're in the 9th. Cubs are down, as you see, 3-2. Two on, 1 out.
Dusty has nobody up, so for the moment, this one belongs to Farnsworth. So try to wiggle off the hook here in the 9th and give the Cubs a chance to come back against Bradford.
Herman, a big day today. Triple, 2 RBIs, the highlights. Down the right field line into the seats. Strike 1 to Herman.
Yep. You revealed Durazo in the on-deck circle. He had a 2-base hit yesterday, and I'm sure you remember him from his days with the Diamondbacks.
0-1 the count to Herman. Cito and Zambrano tomorrow. That'll be on WGN Sports. Then an off day Monday. We'll join you again Tuesday in St. Louis. Fouled at the plate. Herman stays alive.
Don't worry, you won't need a jacket tomorrow. It's going to be lovely.
Try to talk to Tom?
Yep. 73.
Cooler by the
lake.
Yes. 0-2 the count. How about that outside corner? 2 outs. We'll take that. And Durazo will be summoned with Crosby at second and Scudero at first.
Well, this is really a neighborhood call, and that is it was in the neighborhood of the plate. Not necessarily over it, but close enough. And now Larry Rothschild's going out perhaps to remind Farnsworth that he's faced Durazo once and he hit a home run off him.
I don't know if I'd want to be reminded of that, quite frankly.
They've got a way to get Big Ruby out. More times than not, it's not keeping the ball low and away from him, because that's when he drives the ball to left center field.
Eight innings for Mulder, 2 earned runs, 10 hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and 123 pitches for him. So Durazo in this 9th inning for Oakland. 2 men on, 2 men out. Missed inside with the ball. Want to know your count. Burns waits next.
I think that's probably what Larry went out there to tell him, is you just as soon crowd this guy. He does stand fairly close to the plate, and he is really strong. Billy Beane for a long time wanted him as a designated hitter, knowing that fielding wasn't his long suit.
He made an error in yesterday's game. It didn't hurt Oakland, however. They won the ball game. 2-0 the count. Two balls, no strikes. Out at the plate. Well, unless the Cubs come back in the 9th inning, Mulder's going to go to 51-10 when he pitches 7 innings or more.
If you look at his starts, he goes 7 innings most of the time. That's invaluable for a bullpen, especially a struggling bullpen, and we've seen the numbers on the Oakland pen, and they're some of the highest in baseball.
He's got a 6-game win streak working with 3 outs to get for his Oakland mates. 2 balls and a strike to Durazo. Popped up and to push that out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Keep that slider low and into Durazo, especially one that's dropping out of the zone. That's been one of the trademarks of Farnsworth this year. Got a good chance of getting it. And the fans getting on their feet. A lot of them to get warm. Some of them encouraging the Farms to get out of here and turn it over to the offense.
2 balls, 2 strikes. He got it with a nasty slider. That ends the Oakland ninth. Last chance for the Cubs, and into the pen we go, where it's been a real Oakland adventure. A's 3, Cubs 2.
Hyundai Initial Quality is winning people over. The Hyundai Sonata was just named the highest-ranked entry midsize car in Initial Quality by J.D. Power and Associates. That dedication to quality lets Hyundai offer America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles. And the feature-packed Hyundai Sonata starts for as little as $15,339. So don't buy another sedan before you check out the highest-ranked Hyundai Sonata. Hyundai, win. Get a 2004 Sonata with $2,000 cash back or 0% APR.
Hey, where's the salsa? Behind the Heineken.
Get 2 free downloads from Reel with every specially marked 12-pack of Heineken. No purchase required. See store display or Heineken.com for details. While supplies last.
Chevy. According to J.D. Power and Associates, we're ranked #1 in customer retention. That means more people who own Chevy stay with Chevy. When it comes to satisfaction, we've got a lot to offer. And now current GM owners and lessees get $4,000 loyalty cash on select 2004 Chevy Silverado models. Chevy. Turn the key. Start a revolution. See your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers.
Well, we're hoping to have a very happy post-game recap for you. Gail Fisher and Dave Otto are standing by in our Fox Sports Net Chicago studios with a full wrap-up of the middle game of this 3-game set between the Cubs and the Oakland Athletics. Into the bottom of the 9th we go. Chad Bradford, who saved yesterday's game, is on again to nail it down for Mark Mulder, perhaps.
Bradford went 1-2-3 in the 9th inning of yesterday's game to record his first save. And Dusty elects to go at him with Ramon Martinez. And then we'll probably see, I would assume, Hollandsworth back to the top of the lineup. Remember, you got Walker, you have Macias, and you have Hollandsworth.
So the righty-righty matchup, a called strike.
Dusty playing a hunch that Ramon's going to hit the ball harder than his left-handers against Bradford.
Ramon, a 2nd inning single. That was the crazy play in the game. And that one well off the plate to even up the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. How big is the run the Cubs didn't get in the 2nd right now? Base hit to left. Actually, the ball was caught by Burns. That's why Ramirez didn't score, but it came out of the leather, and Ramirez and Lee were both standing at third base. Derrek was thrown out, and that was that. Called 3rd strike, 1 out.
This guy is death on right-handers and usually has been, and Ramon goes down looking. And now Macias, who was up, strides back into the dugout, and here comes Hollandsworth. But the Cubs have recorded 1 out.
Hollandsworth 8 for 14 with 2 pinch hit home runs this year.
Hard to believe there's too many people in baseball better off the bench this year than Hollandsworth has been. As we know, he was pretty good as a starter in Sammy's place, but the Cubs a stronger team when he can come off the bench.
Off the plate, ball 1. So Hollandsworth, the second of the Cubs left-handed benchmen, to pitch hit today. Tom Goodwin did so for Mark Pryor in the 6th. Ground ball, kicks off the right side of the mound. At second, Scudero can't make a play. An infield hit for Todd Hollandsworth.
Yet another hit off the bench. And Hollandsworth continues to roll right along. He's now 9 for 15. Grzelcyk will be taken down. Hit of the infield variety, and that's the tying run. And Todd Walker will pinch hit for Mark Grzelcyk.
Todd 1 for 7 this year in a pinch. The Cubs still have Baco and Macias available to swing the bat from the left side. Again, Oakland's bullpen this year has had terrible problems. Let's see if the Cubs can take advantage here in the 9th inning. Down a run. Nice day back for Mark Grzelcyk. 1 for 3 with a run score. And very good work defensively. Back to the screen. Strike 1 to Todd Walker. 10 home runs on the year for Todd. That ties him with Jeff Kent to top the National League's second base home run lead.
Walker at least has had one look at Bradford. Wasn't successful, but he's seen him. And Hawkins continues to toil away in the pen in case the Cubs get something going.
1 strike, your count. Ground ball, right side base hit. Hollandsworth around second is going to put on the brakes. All the best of it for Dye. He was about 20 yards shy of the infield cut, and he's got a great arm. So the Cubs play it wisely and safe. They have 2 on with 1 out for Michael Barrett, who tallied an RBI single last time up.
That's the 25th hit off the bench for the Chicago Cubs this year. You can see why you want left-handers to face Bradford, because they make life miserable for him.
A little surprised Macias didn't pinch it for Martinez leading off the inning. But he is still available. Let's see how Barrett fares here. Michael 1 for 4. 12 Cub hits. Shows a bunt. And went around for a strike. He thought he drew the bat back. Larry Young says you kept it down there.
Well, after the non-call by Rob Drake, they were smart enough to get the appeal. It looked like he laid the bat out, and it looked like he attempted to bunt. That's the way it looked to Larry Young.
How many pinch hits did you say the Cubs have this year?
25.
They're 7 away from their season total of last year, 32.
Already hit 4 home runs. That's double the season total of last year.
1 ball, 1 strike to Michael Barrett.
Cubs making a charge here in the 9th.
Rip to right field, get down ball, and it's fair. 1 run scores. Here comes Walker, streaking to third. They're going to green light him. Here comes the relay, and it's going to be laid, and the Cubs have come all the way back. almost impossible in this day and age in baseball to come back in the 9th inning against an opponent's closer. The Cubs have done it twice in the last week. They did it to Dotel and the Houston Astros on the road. But here against an Oakland team that has blown an equal number of saves as they've converted, they do it in the 9th inning at home with Michael Barrett, today's hitting hero, who's standing by with Mitch Robinson.
Thanks a lot, Chip. Michael, what a way to win that game.
That was awesome. Just 2 clutch hits right there. And Hollandsworth and Walker gets a tough pitcher right there, set the table. I was just glad I could get another hit to try to keep things going, and then for it to get by, it was just awesome.
How incredible is it for 2 pinch hitters to come up cold off the bench and both connect?
Oh, man, these guys, I can't say enough about those guys all year. I mean, they've just been ready to go. You know, when guys have gone down and got hurt, they've been there ready to pick it up where we left off, and they're just gamers, and they're just winners. I love it.
Can you hear this crowd? All 40,000 still here for you.
That's awesome. This is the best place in the world to play.
Is this the kind of win that can turn it around and get you guys a long streak now?
Oh, I'd love it. I hope so. I'd love it.
Well, what a way to go, Michael. Congratulations. Nice game.
Thank you.
All right, Chip, Steve, back to you guys.
We've talked about the bench all year, Steve. It paid big dividends for the Cubs today. And they come back, steal a win from the Oakland A's in heart-stopping fashion, 4-3, the final score.
We had a pretty good idea about Jim Henry and what he wanted this team to look like, because as the guys have gotten healthier in the starting lineup, that rejuvenates your bench. And with Hollandsworth and Walker coming off the bench for pinch hits, Michael Barrett, the probably well-entrenched 2-hitter in the lineup, drives them both home. And you saw what the problem is with the Athletics this year. They've blown 14 saves, including a big one here today.
So, Gail and Dave, no home runs today for the Cubs. And unfortunately, no donations for prostate cancer research. But still, we invite the fans at home to donate to keep Dad in the game by calling 1-800-798-CURE. The Cubs, wow, what a ball game. 4-3, the rubber game of the series tomorrow here at Wrigley Field. Todd Walker and Todd Hollandsworth, big pinch hits in the 9th, and Michael Barrett, a big blow into the corner, wins it for the Cubs. Let's send it to you in our Fox Sports Net Chicago studios.
Thanks, Chip. Coming up on the ATA Cubs postgame show, the Cubs offense comes through in the 9th inning. Hear what Dusty Baker has to say about this incredible win. The Cubs skipper joins us live, and Michael Barrett comes up with the big one. We'll have all the highlights and the Battle of the Z's and the series finale, Zambrano and Zito. A look at the matchup coming up on the postgame show.
Fox Sports Net's coverage of Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. Over 2,800...
One-run scores! Sammy over to third! They're going to wave it! Here's the relay! The throw is line! And Sosa scores! And the Cubs take the lead!
Tonight, round 2 of the border war won't be Bush League. The Central's at stake. Next.
Well, the Cubs and Cardinals are playing under the shadow of the gateway to the west, but there's another direction the Cubs are thinking about tonight, and that's moving northward. With a victory tonight in Game 2 of this 3-game set, they could pull into a first-place tie with the Cardinals in the National League Central. And tonight, another big crowd gathering at Busch Stadium here on Fox Sports Net Chicago. Hi again, friends. Chip Carey, Steve Stone. What a ball game in Game 1. The Cubs come from way back, beating the Cardinals 5-4, are now just 1 game out of first place. And Steve, quite frankly, this series showing off perhaps the 2 best third basemen in all the National League, and certainly the most improved in the form of Aramis Ramirez of the Cubs.
Ramirez came through last night with the big hit, and it was a good recipe for winning. Get some clutch hits late, score some late runs, and then turn it over to your bullpen. Ramirez has been doing this all month. Sammy scores what proved to be the winning run, and Aramis continues to bang the baseball, as you can see, to a .368 clip.
And he's caught everything in sight over at third base as well, and his corner mate on the infield, Derrek Lee's been great as well. Nobody hotter in all of baseball this month than Derrek is.
He tied it up with a towering home run. He's hitting everything in sight. A bona fide candidate for Player of the Month. Derrek Lee is hitting the ball to left, right, and center field. The slugging percentage otherworldly. He's driven in 18 runs, and the batting average 434.
So two offenses swinging the bats pretty well. Square off tonight. Into the fray, though, goes Glendon Rush for the Cubs. Jeff Suppan goes for St. Louis.
Glendon Rush has had a terrific year. He's made 7 starts. 6 of them have been wonderful. There you look at the numbers the last time out, and Rush looking for his 5th win. Suppan is not overpowering, will occasionally give up the long ball, and both left and right-handers hit him about 275, so he's not going to have less hits than innings pitched. The Cubs can sweep the series. The Cardinals can't. It's just where the Cubs want them.
And a big question is how early in the game, Steve, will the hitters be able to see the baseball? We're starting an hour earlier than last night. How big a factor is that going to be?
I think it'll be a big factor. I think both pitchers want to get in as many innings as they can early. Bear in mind that for Rush, he works real quickly. If he's getting the ball over, and he's gotten it over all year long, you'd have to believe that he can get in 4 or 5 innings before the hitters really see the ball well.
Well, Steve, you were magnificent last night. Let's see if you can make it 2 in a row here in St. Louis. It's the Cubs and the Cardinals. More fun and the starting lineups coming your way right after this.
Fox Sports Net's coverage of Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you in part by your local area Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Geico Direct. A 15-minute phone call could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Comcast. Proud to be Chicagoland's cable company. Mike's Hard Lemonade. Hardly the usual. Make it a Mike's. Chevy. Test drive a new Chevy car or truck today at your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealer. Walgreens. The pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs. Aflac. Ask about it at work. Toyota, get the feeling. And by Southwest Airlines, over 2,800 nonstop daily flights to 60 destinations all across the country.
Introducing the Nissan Quest.
Decision. Time waits for no man. Neither do airplanes. I want a little bit of paradise on the fast track.
Get the United Mileage Plus Visa card, only from Bank One.
I want a car.
Full night in St. Louis as the Cubs and the Cardinals battle in Game 2 of this 3-game set. Let's check out the Cubs starting lineup. Dusty Baker's club brings a 7-game road win streak into tonight's play. Todd Walker back in the starting lineup. He'll lead off at second base. Michael Barrett behind the plate hits second. Moises Alou has faced Jeff Suppan successfully in the past. He'll hit third. Sammy Sosa's the Cub right fielder. Aramis Ramirez is at third base. Sizzling hot Derrek Lee hits sixth. Corey Patterson, the Cubs center fielder, hits seventh. Ramon Martinez bats eighth, and Glendon Rush will pitch and bat ninth.
There's a look at Jeff Suppan, who originally came out of the Boston organization, on for the 14th start. He was a free agent acquisition by these Cardinals. Didn't cost him a whole lot of money. Did cost him a 2-year contract with an option for the 3rd. Fastball not overpowering in the low 90s. Says his curveball is his out pitch, but he doesn't throw all that many of them. And he will occasionally give up the long ball. Tonight, they've got So Taguchi in center field. Last night, for the first time, they started Ray Langford. And it was a ball that Langford didn't get that wound up to be the difference in the game. So Taguchi gives him a lot more range in center.
Jim Edmonds out with a sore groin. He is able to pinch hit, as we saw last night. Cardinals are hoping to have him start tomorrow. Suppan kicks and fires, and we're underway. Pitch popped up left side, slicing into the seats for strike one to Todd Walker.
Let's take a look at the Cardinal Corona defense, and it's usually a very good one. It's Luna, Taguchi, and Sanders left to right. Luna, a shortstop by trade. Roland, Renteria, Womack, and Pujols. Gold Glover Mike Matheny behind the plate. Jeff Suppan on the hill. If you look at the shadows, Outfield in bright sunshine, the hitter in sunshine, the pitcher obscured in the shadows. Tough visibility.
0-2 the count to Todd Walker. And there you see the ringed archways of the top of Busch Stadium shadowing this St. Louis infield. 1 ball, 1 strike. And rolled foul past Gene Kleins. We'd like to welcome our affiliate, Insight Communications, and their viewers in Decatur, Illinois, to Busch Stadium tonight. As you look at the Cardinals starting pitcher, Jeff Sappan, one thing he gives St. Louis is a lot of innings worked. 5 straight years he's gone 200 or more. And a line drive over short and into left center field. Todd Walker aboard with a leadoff first inning single tonight.
Looked to be an off-speed pitch away from Walker, and he just waded back and took it to the opposite field. Cubs would love to get some early runs for Glendon Rush, who's been just terrific as a starter.
That'll bring up Michael Barrett. Michael hitting a cool 300 against Cardinal pitching this year. And 303 for the season. Ripped back to the screen for a swinging strike 1.
We saw it last night. Tony Womack doesn't throw particularly well. He had Tommy John elbow surgery in October. The Cubs did run on him when they have a chance late. Also, it comes into play on double play ground balls when he's the pivot man at second.
Again to the screen. No balls, 2 strikes to Cub catcher Michael Barrett. Cubs are going to flip-flop Grudzielanek and Todd Walker in that leadoff spot and at second base on a daily basis, it would appear. Of course, when the Cubs leave St. Louis, we'll go down to U.S. Cellular Field and play the White Sox. And Dusty will be able to DH one of those men if he so chooses. And that's a called 3rd strike over the outside corner. 1 on, 1 out.
Good fastball. That one had the whole plate, and that gives you some sort of an idea of the visibility. We saw that early in the game last night. Hitters taking hittable fastballs for strike 3.
Lots of boos and lots of aloos for Moises as he comes up here in our first inning. He hit a towering 4th inning home run last night that brought the Cubs to within a run of St. Louis. He's hit 18 of them on the year. Pitch to him is downstairs. Alou lifetime 3 for 5, as you saw, against Sappan in his career.
Be interesting to see how Hector Luna adjusts to left field, especially this time of night. He is a shortstop, but they say he's played all over and played pretty well defensively everywhere La Russa's put him.
He's shielding his eyes in left as Alou pops it up back toward us. And no play for Mike Matheny. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Last night on the first pitch looked like a hanging slider, and Moises hit a towering home run to left. Didn't make it by much, but it doesn't have to. This used to be a tough place to hit a home run. Not so anymore, especially if you take it down the line. It's only 330 and only 372 to the power alleys in left center and right center.
Todd Walker leading off first. He opened up with a hit and a broken bat roller foul at 3rd. Moises will pick out a new piece of lumber, and he'll be down 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's been a tale of 2 seasons for that man, Jeff Sappan. He's been great away from home. In fact, he's undefeated on the road. But here at Busch Stadium, Steve, he's 1-5.
Well, that's been the same tale for the Cardinals, and I think it's inexplicable. This is a team that's always dominated at home. This year, they're only 1 game over 500 here in St. Louis. Get them on the road, and they're 23-12. Somewhat amazing.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Good stop. Keeps Walker anchored at first.
I don't think too many teams are going to run on Matheny. Even fewer run on Molina. Matheny's going to catch about 2 out of every 3 games. Tony La Russa said that even though Mike has had some physical problems this year, he feels if he can play 2/3 of the time, he can keep him healthy all year long.
Matheny's had a muscle strain on his mind this year. And the 2-2 pitch. Just missed downstairs. Full count.
I would send Walker. Not that you feel that he can steal. It's just that Moises strikes out very infrequently. You want to stay out of the double play. Keep the inning alive for Sosa. And as good as Tupan has been, he's not known as an overpowering strikeout pitcher. So let's see if Dusty turns him loose.
In fact, just 41 of them this year in 79 innings. The runner is going. The pitch cut on miss. The throw to second is in time. Walker tried to change him up with the quick hand move at second base. The strike him out, throw him out, double play ends the top of our first.
Hyundai Initial Quality is winning people over. The Hyundai Sonata was just named the highest-ranked entry midsize car in Initial Quality by J.D. Power & Associates. That dedication to quality lets Hyundai offer America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles. And the feature-packed Hyundai Sonata starts for as little as $15,339. So don't buy another sedan before you check out the highest-ranked Hyundai Sonata. Hyundai, win. Get a 2004 Sonata with $2,000 cash back or 0% APR.
Grab some body wash from Old Spice.
When I walk through a jam, no one knows who I am. Put my love to the test, and I missed the success.
It has a dual-action formula, so you'll get really clean, smell really great.
Hey, Ben. Need help with your anatomy homework?
You!
Now in Mountain Rush 6, spice things up.
The average car loan is now 61 months. So by the time it's paid off, some cars are barely worth a third of their original price. Well, here's an idea. Why not lease an Accord LX instead? It'll keep more of its value than any other car in its class, and that can translate into low monthly payments. $199 a month for 36 months, to be exact. Make a date to see your Honda dealer today. Now you can lease an Accord LX for $199 a month for 36 months.
Indians, tonight at 6:30 on Fox Sports Net Plus.
Here's a look at the Cardinals starting lineup for Game 2 of this series. Tony Womack leads things off. He'll be followed by Edgar Renteria, Albert Pujols, Scott Rowland, and Reggie Sanders, the middle of the order. Hector Luna's in left, Mike Matheny, the catcher, So Taguchi just up from the minor leagues. And, of course, Jeff Suppan will pitch and bat ninth.
There's a look at Glendon Rush. He's on for his 8th start, 11th appearance, the ERA in the mid-3s. And the Cubs had to have somebody step forward when Pryor went down, and now with Woody on the shelf, Glendon Rush has certainly more than filled the bill. He's looking for win number 5.
And no matter who's facing the Cardinals, the key has got to be the same, Steve, in keeping the top 2 hitters under control before the big thumpers come up for the Cardinals.
Well, you would think for Rush it'll be easier against Womack than Renteria. Now, Womack has had a real good year offensively. When he gets on to start the ball game, he usually scores.
And that's what happened last night. Greg Maddux was touched for 3 in the first inning, but then slammed the door shut after that first inning for a while. The Cubs were able to come back. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Womack. Winners played tonight, a very pleasant surprise for the Cardinals, hitting .304 on the year.
Womack hasn't hit Rush very well at all, hitting just .176. The man coming up next has killed him.
That's out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cardinals this year 8-6 against left-handed starters. And tonight going with a predominantly right-hand hitting lineup as Rush drops down sidearm. And Womack swings through that and misses for the first out of the bottom of the first inning.
Turn back and ask Sam Holbrook if it was a strike. He just wanted to get an idea about the top of the strike zone. Looked to me like that one was up and out of the zone, but he did make a little contact and it stuck in Barrett's glove. So this has been one of the villains as far as Rush is concerned. Renteria has hammered him over the course of his career.
15 hits and 34 at-bats. That pencils out to a .441 lifetime batting average. But, Steve, it appears at least through Game 1 of the series, we're looking at a different Edgar Renteria than one we've seen in years past.
Well, last year he was so good at .330 where he drove in 100 runs. This year, the complete opposite. However, Chip, in the final year of his contract, meaning he can be a free agent, he's come up with periodic back problems, and that's plagued him.
Fly ball hammered toward left. That'll chase Alou back to the warning track. Hard hit ball, but 2 out.
And you notice Moises with the sunglasses on, because unlike Wrigley Field, where it's real dangerous this time of night in right field, left field here in St. Louis is a sun field. And Moises able to turn to the side, get a good angle, and he saw that ball all the way.
That'll bring up Albert Pujols. How about the job Kyle Farnsworth did against Pujols in the game last night?
I talked to a lot of veteran baseball folks, and Rick Hummel, who's been the beat writer here in St. Louis for a long time, he said he's never seen Pujols as overmatched as he was last night. He threw him a slider, struck him out. This guy has been in the top 10 in hardest to strike out all year long. And for a slugger, that's something to say.
Approaching 300 official at-bats for Pujols, and he struck out just 21 times.
Most of the guys on that list, by the way, are not power hitters. They're contact hitters.
Well, this one is a contact hitter who hits a long, long way. That ball fumbled by Lee, and Derrek couldn't scoop it, and a rare mistake for Ramirez, who had a lot of time. E5.
It goes as E5 because Ramirez tried to throw it flat-footed. And Ramos has a strong arm, only it's not that strong. That's just the 4th error of the year. Normally, Derrek Lee scoops those. You begin to believe that he'll scoop them all. And as Ramirez retreated, he had some time to take a good step and make the throw. Watch it. He catches it, and he's got some time. As you can see, he kind of flat-foots it over, and Derrek can't come up with it.
So E5 puts Pujols at first, and that brings up Scott Rowland. You do not want this man hitting, if you all can avoid it, with men on base. Those numbers tell you why. 71 RBIs.
I think the biggest thing for Glendon Rush, as far as this good run of pitching, has been the fact that he's been able to get inside on the right-handers consistently.
1-1.